And welcome into the Tuesday edition. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley, Big Joe Dubin, Ian Safar here with you on this Tuesday morning. Presented by Green Ventures Landscaping, outdoor patios, landscaping design, lawn maintenance, and more. Visit greenventureslandscaping.com. We are live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios. Home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership with a buzz is always about great service. Rexrode remains on vacation, which means this show just gets a little bit more good looking when Big Joe Dubin comes in here. Big Joe, how we doing?
Good, man. Rexrode, I'm told on that text this morning, he's going to try out to be the goalie for the U.S. World Cup team in 2030, since the other goalie doesn't know how to be a goalie.
He's got to limber up between now and then, you know?
Right.
Got to limber up a little bit, but I think you can do it. Hand-eye coordination's there, I think.
Oh, it's solid, right?
Yeah.
I mean, do you ever see him walk down the hallway? I mean, that gait that he's got is just amazing. I mean, it's
good.
Powerful gait, but I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm done.
That was, Ian, I got to tell you, that was depressing last night.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, depressing.
You'd expect nothing else from U.S. men's national soccer team when it gets to the knockout stages. This is kind of just what they do.
They looked exhausted. Like 10 minutes in, they
Terrible.
looked exhausted last night. And this is coming from a guy who is in great shape.
Yeah, I know. I mean, there's Pilates that you do. I mean, this is what goes on.
There's that meme of the big fat guy on the couch eating Doritos. And it's like, come on, man, get going. What are you doing? Yeah. And I was like, yeah, whatever. But no, it sucks. It sucks. It's over. And then wait till 2030.
Yeah. I mean, I thought, you're down 2-1 at the half. And I did think the U.S. came out for about the first 15-ish minutes of the second half, and they looked okay. Like, it looked like they were going to be able to get a shot, and they had the possession the whole time. And when they just couldn't find a way to break through and get to the middle and get any shots off, I was like, well, all right, that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's 3, and you knew 3-1 is just done,
Especially the way it happened.
Yeah, especially the way it happened. And
was he going to the concession stand? Where was that goalie going, man?
It's unbelievable. But yeah, it's very, very sad. I mean, we talked about it yesterday, Joe. I wouldn't consider myself the biggest soccer fan, but I did get into this. Like, this run was fun.
Yeah.
And
to
see it come to an end. And the World Cup format's different this year, so they've added the round of 32. So it's basically just kind of like where they've always been, which is get to the round of 16 and then just get smacked by some pretty good European team.
Yeah, they just looked sluggish and slow. And again, I don't know anything about soccer, but I know comparing one team to the other, and Belgium just was up and down the field and making the most of their opportunities. But when that goalie, I'm watching that, and I see the ball go down the field, and I see this yellow jersey. I'm like, where's he going? Is that a bathroom break or substitution? And then
nachos,
so awkward when he's trying to get the ball from the Belgian guy. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Next thing you know, it's like an empty netter in hockey, man, right in there. And I was like, all right, I'm done. What else is on tonight?
Yeah. And it worked out. We knew the final score of Portugal and Spain yesterday. So Spain wins. And look, had the U.S. won this last game, beating Spain was going to be very difficult. It was going to be, it was going to be an uphill task, but it would have been nice to see him get there. You felt like everything was kind of lining up. I mean, Balogun got to play, and this was a game that a lot of people thought the U.S. could win anyway. And then you watched it early on, and pretty quickly you're like, well, all right, well, they're down 1, so let's just go ahead and knock that out of the way. You get it to half, and you felt okay about it, and then, like I said, it just kind of unraveled pretty quickly after that. But it never once felt like they were anything close to control this.
And they just looked like the varsity playing the JV. I've seen enough of those games in my life to know which is which, and so they looked tired, sluggish, and then with like the 80th minute, the ball went out of bounds, and they showed a wide shot of the U.S. team and the hands on the knees, bent over. I was like, oh, this is
not good.
They are substitute me in for this. Who knows? But I'm done. I hate to say that, but right now I don't care who wins anymore. I don't.
I mean, I will say I probably am. I don't know that I'll be watching much anymore. I will, for the sake of Dr. Crane, probably root against England for like his sanity moving forward here.
Right?
Just move. I'll root against England. That'll be what I do.
I texted him when England beat Mexico the other night. He didn't respond back to me. I'm like, okay, he's not happy about this. But he doubled down on the afternoon show about his pure hatred for England and English people.
Yeah, it's good to see.
They didn't invent soccer. I'm like, okay. And he goes on this rant. I'm like, I've never heard that, but if you think they thought they invented soccer, that's fine. And then he just goes on and on. I'm like, oh man, this is good because he gets more mad.
He's such a nice guy that
matter.
If it makes him mad, I'll root for the opposite to happen. I want Frazier to be relaxed and chilled.
Yes. It's funny.
It's unnerving when he's not.
It is. Like, well, what's there to watch? And I've told Chase this before. If the SEC network would show SEC football games from the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s, I'd watch that every single day. And so the World Cup landed in our lap in summertime when there's nothing on to watch, which is even better for the outskirts of the soccer fan, which we are. Like, all right, I'll watch it from afar.
Yeah.
But now it's over with, and I turned on the SEC Network last night, and they're showing volleyball. I'm like, what's going on here, man? Let's get out of this.
Yeah, well, we're a few weeks away from SEC Media Days, and before you know it, fall camp will be. T-Bone on the text line says, all right, it's a good run. We'll bring on the real football now. I was like, well,
right.
We're not that far away. I was looking yesterday, Joe. Yesterday was 1 month away from the Hall of Fame game. Now, let me tell you something I'm not interested in watching. The Hall of Fame game between Carolina and Arizona. Don't care. I say this every year.
I
do not care. Yeah, I do not care about the Hall
Lord.
of Fame game.
Well,
I will not watch 1 second of the Hall of Fame game. I never do.
Because they got Luke Kuechly and Larry Fitzgerald going in.
Yeah.
So they'll always find a team.
Okay, that makes sense.
So with that being
I guess.
said, the Titans won't be in that game for about another 70 years. So there's no Hall of Famers on this team that they're going to get in. Maybe Derrick Henry one day. Down the road, that's probably the closest one. But I've talked on the show ad nauseum about how just terrible the Arizona Cardinals franchise has always been. It'll never get any better. And the way the Titans beat them last year in that just bizarre way, it's like, all right, yeah, this proves my point right there. But yeah, I'm not watching because it's going to be a lot of fourth and fifth stringers in that first game. People go crazy over it. And then you ask somebody, do you watch it? No, I didn't watch it. Well, you talked about it for 3 weeks. No, I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, training camp to me, I'm excited when training camp comes around because, football is coming. And then about 3 days in, you're like, all right, well, let's get to the games. Let's go.
Well, and we always root for will Paul be in tomorrow?
He will.
Okay. And we'll talk about this. There's always those training camp stars. Remember for like 3 years, the Titans had a receiver in camp named Paul Williams. Greatest receiver of all. He was the next Jerry Rice. Never played it down.
Yep.
And in camp, the guy was amazing. Him and a guy named Joel Filani. These are the mid-2000s. These guys were great. Never saw the light of day, man. And so you're right. About 3 to 4 days into it, like, okay. The only good thing is watching the joint practices, which happen, which are really cool. Yep. I like those. A lot of work gets done. Because I go back to when Brady came with the Patriots in 2019 and just carved up the Titans secondary. Then Mariota gets in there, and he airmails one that lands in the Channel 4 parking lot. He looked terrible that day. I'll never forget Robinson and Vrabel. After the first series, Mariota ran against the Patriots, was awful. They met like in the corner of the field, and you're like, "What?" You just knew they were talking like this. This Mariota's not going to last. They put Tannehill in, ran it down the field with no problem, man.
Yeah, it's maybe a sign of things to come at that time.
What's
we didn't know
doing?
At the time. Tannehill?
I know he's
probably counting a lot of money.
On a boat somewhere.
Yeah, but why don't guys just retire now?
I think he actually did. He retired and didn't make a big fuss about it. But I remember, what magazine was it? He did some interview in some magazine, Ian, where it was like, oh, yeah, by the way, I'm retired.
I can't remember if it was audio or if it was just written.
Yeah, I can't remember either. But it was.
He did. Okay.
But it was last fall that we were like, oh, so I guess he's retired, huh? And he didn't tell anybody. But yeah.
Well, yeah, somebody was on we had a guest on the show. It was like, yeah, I just played golf with him at Temple Hills. And like, what? So he still lived here last fall.
Yeah.
But like Eddie George never retired.
Right.
Just why not? I need the finality. I need to say, I'm done. He never retired. And people forget the last team Eddie George played for.
Yeah. The Dallas Cowboys.
And it was
didn't
not
go very well.
Good. Yeah. It was Parcells benched him like halfway through the season.
I was going to say, like, how many yards did Eddie have for the Cowboys? Did he even get to like 500?
I would say yes, just because.
He had 432 yards.
How many games did he play?
13.
Oh, he did play 13?
He started in 8. but he played in 13. 432 yards.
He was a shell of himself when he played for the Cowboys.
Which, if you watched him play back in the day, you kind of understand why. I mean, there's a lot of physicality that Eddie brought to the table.
Well, there was, and then when Ray took the ball from him in the playoffs, that kind of started the downward. And then Chris Brown rushed for 1,000 yards in 2003 for the Titans, and then Eddie saw the writing on the wall and was gone. But from 96 to about 2000, none better, man. He was great.
By the way, that's what makes what Derrick Henry continues to do amazing. Because that was, Eddie George had been around for a while, but he was 31 when he went to Dallas, right? So, look at Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry has been doing this for a while at this point. He was 31 with Baltimore last year, and he ran for 1,600 yards. Okay, so that guy is a freak. It's kind of unbelievable.
There's another 5 years in Derrick Henry if he wanted it.
If he wants it. Far be it from me to doubt him at this point.
Yeah. Think about it. All right, he takes the beating in the regular season, but from January to August, mid-September, 1st September, he's good. But his workout in the offseason are just
insane.
Yeah, right. So that's how you do it. Brady had the same workout ethic in the offseason and lasted a long time as well.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. We are off and running. Team USA loses last night to Belgium. They are out of the World Cup. So how do we sum this up? What do we take away from it? We'll discuss that coming up next. We'll hear from our man Paul Kuharski as well with a clip that he shared last night on social media that I think sums things up well. We'll get into that. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Alex Daugherty from the Tennessean will be with us at 8 o'clock. Heath Evans coming up at 8:30 on the program today. Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, man. For the I talked to him yesterday. He's excited to come on. He's doing a great job on social media of inspiring people and really good motivating messages he goes on. And former Auburn Tiger, fullback drafted in the 3rd round. You imagine that? The Titans. Remember who's the guy?
Was it Jalston Fowler?
That's it. His nickname was Nudie.
Nudie baby.
Yeah.
And I asked Chance Warmack, I said, why do y'all call him Nudie? And he said, I'm not going to get in. If he said in a way that's PC for radio, he said, if you had that body too, you'd walk around naked. Basically is what he said.
Yeah.
I was like, I would, no doubt.
Understood.
Right?
Yep.
But he wasn't awful.
No,
but it wasn't good.
I mean, he was 4th round. It wasn't that long ago. Like when you think about it, I think it was 2015.
Yes.
So it wasn't that long ago when it comes to when he was drafted as a fullback.
Right.
In the 4th round.
If Borgonzi drafted a fullback in the 3rd round, like say Heath Evans went in the 3rd round, we'd all riot.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing out there, man?
And like fullback has become basically obsolete now in the NFL. I mean, there's a couple of guys that you could name, but
I can't. What's this?
Like Juszczyk from out in
San
Francisco. Like he's
right.
pretty good, but like I'm a Packers guy. Packers don't have fullback. We don't. There's no fullback going on. Titans haven't had a fullback. So
they haven't, right? I just remember. Well, Emmett had Moose Johnson, which was great because Emmett said he wouldn't have gotten any of those yards without him. But the fullback position kind of morphed into the hybrid tight end H-back role, and then went that way. But no, I don't. I mean, who's the lead blocker? Jeff Simmons for the Titans?
Yeah,
now?
sometimes when they get to the goal line, he is.
Can you imagine him coming right up the A gap? You're like, oh my gosh, pass.
Big problem.
All right,
big problem. Team USA falls last night to Belgium, 4-1. The final score. Our man Paul Kuharski from paulkuharski.com, who will be with us tomorrow on the program. Big football guy, as we know, also a big U.S. soccer guy, and he offered his thoughts on the end for Team USA last night. Here's what PK had to say on social media.
It's a nice feel-good run with a disastrous ending for the U.S. men's national soccer team. And look, we end up in the same place. They created a round of 32, so we get a knockout win. But we're out in the round of 16, just like we always are. We lose 4-1 to a European power this time. We lost 3-1 in Qatar to Holland last time. So Belgium did better than the Netherlands did last time. And look, we weren't going to win this game. We're just not as precise as these European teams, no matter how much better we get. We strung together 4 passes 2 or 3 times. It's just not good enough. But I like to imagine a world where at 2-1, when we're putting pressure on, we have a chance to draw even. We have a chance to get it to 2-2 and see what happens, except that the worst goalie that we've had since Tony Meola can't clear a ball, can't kick a ball that he saves outside of the box. He kicks the ground like a little kid. And then the oldest player who's ever been on a World Cup for us, Tim Ream, is an uncoordinated, backwards moving guy who can't clear the ball that's put on goal after this gaff by Matt Freese. Ream looks like he's on skates and can't clear it, and it's 3-1 and the game's over. We had a chance there, and the 2 weaknesses we had coming into the tournament that didn't surface through our good pool play and our good round of 32 against Bosnia and Herzegovina, we hit it, but it's going to show up at some point. How does America, which a great string of goaltenders, not have somebody better than Matt Freese? And how do we not develop a central defender to go with Richards better than Ream and all that time? With all of this talent that we had, 2 deathly flaws that ultimately haunt us. Questions that are going to haunt me as I watch the rest of the tournament. But we're not good enough to compete with the big boys from Europe, no matter how much better we've gotten. It's sad. It's frustrating. We're better, just not better enough.
A very depressed Paul Kuharski last night after.
Can we do a wellness check on him?
Loses to Belgium there.
I'm not sure I'm that passionate about anything in this world besides my kids like that. I mean, it's a good assessment, and he's right about all that, but now you got to wait 4 years to get it done again.
Well, it does beg the question, and again, we've talked about this. We're not soccer experts here. But it does beg the question, I think, of, all right, is there ever going to come a point where the United States is actually a legitimate threat to win this thing? Or is it always just going to be, all right, well, we'll see if the U.S. can get to the round of 16 and win a game, and then maybe they get lucky one year and get to the semifinals. Like, are they ever going to actually be a threat to win this
Probably
thing?
not.
Probably not.
I love that soundbite, man. Probably not. Maybe, but I mean, we all took the fact of we won the gold in the Olympics, right? I mean, that was great. We all like to be united with something. That brings us together. But I don't think there's enough outside of the inner circle of who cares about that all of us don't really care, right? I mean, it's a great story. It was great patriotism to watch all that. I was in the middle of all that, but now I've moved on, right? And as I said last night, let's see Belgium go through an SEC football schedule, right? They're not. Yeah, they're 0-9. They ain't going to get it done. But it's one of those things where if they do it, that's great. If not, sun comes up tomorrow.
Yeah, like I don't know the answer. Like I've heard Landon Donovan talk about this of, the youth soccer in America is getting better and programs getting better, investments getting better. And, by the time, I think he said in the 2040s, you roll around, we could have a team that wins the World Cup. It's like, oh, great, in the 2040s. Let's look forward to that.
I'm sure we said that in 1994.
And we probably did. We probably said that in the 90s and the early 2000s. And to PK's point, it just kind of feels like as fun as this all was, and as much as people got behind this team, and as excited as I think people were last night, to have it end the way it did, it does, I think, put a little bit of a dud on what happens and then like how it's viewed, I think, moving forward.
Right. So we had false hope.
I mean, when you come out and are that much of a flop last night, it kind of feels that way, right? Like as PK lays out, I mean, it's a different format this year. So you get the round of 32 win and you're feeling great about yourself. That's the first time they've had that.
Wait, so what was the old format?
The round of 32 didn't exist. Like you just went from group
16.
play right to 16.
Okay.
So they've added kind of an extra layer to it this year, which is fine. But the end result is basically, as PK laid out, kind of what it's always been: is the U.S. gets to the round of 16 and then they just get smoked.
So was Greg Sankey in charge of this expansion? I'm fine with that. I hate expansion, but this was okay. I mean, I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, this one's
to
fine.
do that. But if they're going to be good in 2042, JoJo ain't going to be here. I'm not sure I'm here in 2030. So good for them. Work hard towards that and see what they could do. Dr. Crane, knows all the CONCACAF, the individual world titles around the North America. I mean, all that, and that's a big deal to him. So that's part of the soccer lore of having winning awards and winning trophies and championships. Didn't Nashville SC win something last year?
Yeah, they did.
What was that?
It was one of those tournaments. What was it?
Was it the Cup?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Yeah,
but
not it wasn't the Champions League. It wasn't I can't remember what it was called, but it was like the first professional championship in whatever, Nashville.
Yeah. Do we count that?
They tried to count it.
Yeah.
It
was the U.S. Open Cup.
U.S. Open Cup.
There you go. It wasn't the CONCACAF Champions Cup.
Right. Okay.
Which is like,
there's a lot to keep up with.
There is a lot. It's like that dumb NBA tournament within the season.
The in-season
So
tournament.
soccer has this in-season tournament. And my thing is like, why play that? The main thing is MLS. If your best player gets hurt and this other thing that you're doing, what are we doing? It doesn't make any sense to me.
At least they've always done it, though. You know?
The international, this is part of the international lore of why they do that kind of stuff. They do those like in between tournaments between the World Cup with international teams to try and, qualifying, extra practice, chemistry for the international teams.
And I've kind of always liked that about soccer because they international play is like the most important thing for them. And I remember, hockey went through a 12-year period not playing the Olympics. And it's like, good Lord, can you guys get back in the Olympics?
Yeah, right.
And then you saw it this year, how awesome it is. And it's like, why did you ever stop? Like, for the NHL, Like, how could you not be smart enough to say, hey, this probably helps?
Yeah, I
our
agree.
best players
And I will say, if Nashville SC wins the MLS Cup, JoJo's first one in that parade. I mean, I'll be there cheering and having a good time and everything because it's good for the city, and I hope they win everything, and we'll go that way. But Nashville's entered this territory of having a team for nearly 30 years and not winning a championship, and it's not a good thing to have.
One texter says the U.S. won't be good at soccer because our best athletes don't play soccer. They play football and they play basketball. That is true. I mean, my dad and I were talking about this last night. It's like, you imagine like LeBron in goal for the USA. Like if he was just trained to be a soccer player the whole time and you have that size and that athleticism. It's like, well, I mean, good. Well, no one would ever score.
The dude that scored for Belgium at the end there, what's that guy's name?
Lukaku. Good
Lord. I mean, that's a Derrick Henry. That guy's massive.
Yeah.
You stop that guy.
And I don't know that that's ever going to change, but I don't know that you're going to see like the U.S.'s best athletes just transition to playing soccer all the time. But can you get more of them? I think that's the question. Like, can you get more of them that choose to play soccer? I don't know. PK's brought that up before.
I don't think so.
I don't know what that's going to look like. You know, people talk about the NFL and the concussions and all those things, and we've talked about that in the aftermath of Chris Johnson stuff. Like the youth football, and I think how people viewed that has been changed a little bit over the last 10 to 15 years. But I also do think that, you know, people in the NFL has done this to some degree. But, I mean, you know this. You're a big high school football guy.
Right.
Like, they don't do the same drills that they used to do.
And I'm telling you right now, football has never been as safe as it is right now. I've got those helmets on my desk. I got a helmet from 1993. I got a helmet from 2024. The inside padding is completely different. So that helps. Plus, they're not doing the Oklahoma drill anymore, where you're just blasting people.
They're not practicing in pads every day either.
Right. So there's things, and look, they're not teaching kids to tackle with their heads. You know, Australian rules football has almost zero concussions. Why? Because they teach you not to lead with your head. When I grew up, it was always lead with your head, throw your body in there. Now it's not so much. Football's never been as safe, but stuff like the awful thing with Chris Johnson, you're not going to convince moms that it's safe. And that's where the line is drawn. Does your mom let you play football? I'm telling you, that's where it goes down the line right now.
My mom and grandmother did not.
Yeah. I think that's become more common of that not being the case, or at the very least, pushing it later. Like you're playing flag football until you're, you know, in middle school or high school.
Exactly. My mom just wanted me out of the house. She says, go play football.
Well, they didn't tell me not to play football, but they never encouraged me to play football.
There's a lot of moms that way, man. And moms have I'm telling you, moms have the final say when it comes to all that.
Michael and Madison says, I'd like to see somebody from Belgium meet Derrick Henry in the A-gap. Yeah. Have some of that.
I would love to see that.
Do we feel good or bad about boycotting the Belgian waffles heading into this? I feel like we should have gone the opposite way. Should have just had some all weekend.
Yeah, right. So I'm back on the Belgian waffle train now, and I'll go back to watch some Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, and it's all good now. But we move on.
Nothing personal.
They play Spain, right? Is that right?
Yep.
Friday, do all that. I'm not watching, so we're good.
I think Spain's going to win that one. That's just my guess. 615-737-1025, our phone number, 615-737-1025. More of your thoughts to get to coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. The Borchetta Bourbon Music City Grand Prix coming to the Nashville Super Speedway Saturday, July 18th and Sunday, July 19th on 102.5 The Game. And it has your chance to win tickets to the IndyCar race. All you got to do, text in the keyword RACE to 615-737-1025 to enter to win tickets. Again, RACE to 615-737-1025. For more information on the event, visit musiccitygp.com. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Greg says, U.S. Open Cup qualifiers for the Gold Cup, a qualifier for the CONCACAF Cup. That's a qualifier for something else. That's a qualifier for the World Cup. NSC keeps performing, qualifying. They could be in their own World Cup, something like that. There you go.
As long as you win, man, I don't care. But yeah, it all confuses me what all goes on, but that's fine.
Hey, Ian's a big NSC guy. They're good this year.
They're very good this year.
Now we can transition from World Cup to, when does the MLS season end? November. It's the longest season in sports. It's unbelievable.
Given the international break here, it'll probably be pretty late. October and November. Let's see what was last year.
July 17th, I know at Nashville SC's back on the pitch.
October 18th, I think, was their last regular season game last year.
Good Lord.
It'll be around end of October, I would assume, given the
regular season this year, because the international break concludes on November the 7th.
Yeah.
So then you got to get into playoffs. With the Cup final will be in December. So it's a
long, chilly one.
I mean, they start in February. That's a long time.
season.
So if they make the final December,
yeah,
is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Good, come on, man.
That's a long.
Football break.
Well,
I love football. I like the break.
Yeah,
I agree.
I love the break.
I guess the season's long because they usually have at least one international break in there somewhere, whether it's for some tournament or some type of qualifying.
But you're still talking. I mean, they're training in February and you're done in this year, December. So it's like, all right, enjoy your 6 weeks off. We'll be back for next season.
See you soon.
No off season.
Yeah,
for sure.
Crazy.
I always like the video when hey, Nashville SC started training camp today and it's like freezing and they're down in Florida.
Yeah, they do start down there, don't they?
That's like it's early February. I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah, so they're good though. You talked to BJ Callahan yesterday.
It was. I asked him, I said, how are you able to, can you watch these games as a fan? And he said, that's the best question. He actually said that. I said, thank you. He goes, and it's very difficult to watch that as a fan compared to what I do for a living. I'm like, yeah. And then I said, when you watch those, where do you watch? You watch with a group of people? I don't like watching the Super Bowl with people. I like watching it alone.
Yeah.
He said, I'm the same way. He's like, good.
I wonder if Callahan will get some hype for the next U.S. men's national team head coach.
He's doing a great job, man.
Because
you think Pochettino's gone?
I do think he's
again?
Gone. Yeah, I think he's gone.
I can see that.
Dude, it's just like Russell Crowe to me.
He does look like Russell Crowe.
He does kind of look like Russell Crowe.
I mean, not the Russell Crowe now, who looks like me, but the Russell
from
Crowe.
Gladiator.
Yeah. I'm like, good for this guy, man.
Hey.
Yeah, I have a feeling he'll probably be gone.
Okay.
There's just not, now that the World Cup is in 4 years, like for the U.S. men's national team, he's going to get bored. He'll probably need like a club team with some real stuff and, different atmosphere.
God, 4 years. That's crazy. Be here before you know it.
Craig says February to close to Thanksgiving is around about how long the NASCAR season is too. That is true. That's you're talking about a couple of long seasons.
Daytona gets going in February.
Yeah, it does. You know what season should end on Labor Day? I've always said this: Major League Baseball.
I totally agree.
On Labor Day.
Totally agree.
Because
start playoffs or done World Series.
Start playoffs.
I would say World Series done.
And right. And
that's always been my hot take, and Rexrode things I've been saying.
You got September for playoffs, the first week of October, then be done. Because I'm telling you, there was a game last year. It was the White Sox and the Royals were playing like September the 10th, and there was like 800 people at the game. And both teams like 40 games out of. I'm like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
What, you're just wasting time, wasting a lot of things going on in baseball and Labor Day. Because once football starts now, done.
I'd be trying to get away from it. I mean, I thought about this in terms of like the NHL and the NBA too. I mean, I've always thought the NHL should start earlier and you just start going. Just totally rearrange your calendar and start earlier than they do. They'll never do it. I understand it. I mean, they'll never do it. I'd like to see him either start earlier or start later. Like I've always said, the NBA, if you want to maximize like your TV stuff, NBA should start on Christmas Day. Just start Christmas Day and have your playoffs end in like August. I think it'd be perfect.
Right in the football. Yep. You're right. You're exactly right. And the NHL the same way. I do see a scenario coming within a couple of years where college football is 2 weeks before Labor Day.
I can see that.
Put it back to mid-August.
Especially if you're going to expand the playoff to 75 games.
Exactly. I got no problem. The college football game on August 18th. High school football starts around that time. Guys are already on campus for college football, so let's go ahead and get it done, play it, and people would love it.
All these things I think make a lot of sense. I just wonder if these leagues are going to have – I mean, college football may not have a choice. Like if you're going to expand the playoff, you may not have a choice but to start earlier to fit all the games in. Right?
Like next year the game ends like the 20th or 21st of January. I mean, that's just
insane.
Way too long.
Well, even the NFL's pushed back this year.
Yeah.
I think the Super Bowl is on
it's a week later.
Day.
Yeah.
It's the same day as the Daytona 500.
Yeah.
It's all on that same day, and it's going to be chaos. So what is Daytona 5? Nobody's going to watch that. If you're watching the Super Bowl compared to Daytona 500, move the Daytona 500 to that Saturday.
Or have the Daytona 500 start at 9 in the morning. One of the two.
It's always postponed anyway because of rain. Maybe move Daytona to Saturday. And you've got Saturday to do it, leading the football on Sunday. Because for the first time ever, the Super Bowl is on ESPN.
Yeah, maybe they should move it to that dead week before.
Yep. Yeah. You're right.
You know, before the Super Bowl kicks off for the NFL.
Yes. And then move that way, and then there's not a conflict, and everybody can watch everything. Everybody's happy. Just so much, man. I mean, when I grew up, you had 3 channels, and that was it. Now you got Amazon and Prime and Netflix, Amazon Prime and Netflix and YouTube.
Everybody, you used to have, football. Well, at least in my lifetime, and I know it expanded even from that. But, for most of my life, it's like, all right, it's 16 games. 16 games that they're playing, and now we're at 17. We're getting to 18 at some point.
Yep.
College football is like, all right, you're going to play 12 games in the regular season, and then you're going to play a bowl game, and you might play a conference championship game. And now, you could end up playing 17 games.
Yeah, right.
If you're a college football team.
What about the student athlete?
Yeah.
That's never brought up. It's like, they're fine because the 1AA or FCS has always been fine with all that. Yep. So they think the big boys will be fine with it. Look, I just like the fact that we talk football and not NIL, which makes me happy when we just talk about games and what's going to happen in the regular season because I am over the NIL talk.
I am too. And it feels like all we talk about college sports now is what's wrong with it, which
right.
There's a lot wrong with it. Don't get me wrong. We talked about that.
There is. And we had a fun thing one day about if NIL had been around for 100 years, what players, can you imagine what Bo Jackson would have made?
Man.
Or Herschel Walker?
Peyton Manning. Yeah.
Peyton, oh my gosh. I mean, it's crazy how much Peyton Manning would have made. I mean, it just go down. It's a fun topic to think about. Guys who made a lot of money back then. But, I mean, it's a whole new world now. Whole new world.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. We will get into a little football coming up next. Take your thoughts on our phone line. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Our football offseason coverage presented by Tennessee Brew Works and Parma Tractor and Equipment. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. We will get into Vanderbilt football coming up here at 7 o'clock. Get Big Joe's thoughts on that as well. We got training camp just a few weeks away. It's the end of this month when Titans training camp gets underway. We will have Paul Kuharski with us in studio tomorrow in the second half of the program. I am curious, Joe, to get your thoughts on Robert Saleh heading into year one here. What are kind of the vibes that you have about him? We talked yesterday about the Brian Callahan part of this, and it was, probably the worst run in the history of the franchise, just how bad it was. Saleh's record is what it is in New York. It's not good. It's a bad ownership situation. We know all those things. So based on both the coaching staff that is now in place, a clearer picture now of what the roster is going to look like. I mean, there'll be some tinkering here and there over the next few weeks, but by and large, we know what the roster is. How are we feeling about things heading into training camp?
When I hired Saleh, I went back and read comments from players that had played for him. Even before basically they got hired, they all love him. They all love him. And I think when you don't have a lot of talent, you preach how tough you need to be. And so he's doing that. He's preaching, we got to be tough. We got to be aggressive. We got to just go after people. I like that mentality because that's a football mentality. I like this guy because he is a 180 of Callahan. We're not doing the day camp over there where you're doing sack races and you're getting a little kid pull with the noodles and slap each other on the ass. That's not happening. You're actually playing football. I like his approach to the game. It's tough, and I think guys rally around him. Now, I go to Dable, right? So Brian Dable, when he was with the Giants last year, remember what he wanted to do in the draft?
Yeah, Cam Ward.
He's going to give up the franchise. So he sees something in Cam Ward that maybe we don't, which is good. So I like the fact that he brought them in. I like the fact that he delegates. I think Gus Bradley is a hell of a hire. You kept Foss around for special teams. So you've got core there. Now you just got to win games, right? So it's Saleh the guy to get you there. I like the fact that he's defense. He's not worried about the offense. Let Dayball take care of that. I'm on board, man. I'm on board. This team needed to be tough, right? When Fisher was here in 01, 02, and 2000, this team was tough. But they had the players, and that made him even better. But I'm all about Saleh and what he could do. But as we've talked about, that first game, you lose to the Jets week 1, it's going to be a long year. You beat the snot out of the Jets week 1, I think you're beating the Eagles in week 2. And can you imagine this football team starting out 2-0?
No, I can't. It's been a long time.
Crowd behind him feeling good. So everything's got to point to that first game. If I'm Robert Saleh, all I'm worried about is that Jets game 1. That should be the main focus, the only focus. They've got some good core players here. Can they get it done? I need to see if Cam Ward's the guy. That's it.
Well, I think we're going to start to find that out this year. I mean, it was. We brought the ESPN article yesterday that started listing out the rosters and like ranking them in the NFL. I think they had the Titans at 28th, but they had the strength of the team as the wide receivers. And I'm not willing to go there yet. I mean, I would agree with what Corey Curtis had to say. I look at the defensive line, and that's probably the strength of the team, especially the interior of the defensive line.
Right.
I am very excited about Carnell Tate. And, I don't know that I loved the draft pick at the time based on some other options that were there. But having also said that, I understand we're talking about a receiver. And frankly, people who score touchdowns are just way more exciting to me. So if he's the guy that can live up to where he was drafted this year, I mean, the Titans are due for somebody like that, right? Like for a highly drafted receiver. I mean, even AJ, you're talking about a second-round pick. The Titans are due for a highly drafted receiver to come in and to be a stud. And, obviously the quarterback's going to be a part of that. And Cam Ward, whether or not he works out, is going to determine where all this goes over the next couple of years. But Tate, the Titans are due for something like that to work out, and it needs to happen this year. I'm encouraged by what I've heard on that front to this point. But again, we're talking about football in June. At that point, it doesn't mean a whole lot.
I think the greatest projection for me right now is that in this time next year, if Brian Daboll is not on this team.
I would agree. And some people won't like that, but to me, that's a good development if it takes place.
Because they've done well and they've won games, and he's gone on to the head coaching job. But remember this, all you got to do is be better than 3 other teams.
Yeah.
That's it. You got to be better than the Colts, the Jags, and the Texans. That's all you got to do is be better than them. I need to win other games as well, but you beat those 3, you're better than them, you're in the playoffs, anything could happen. And it's going on now. 21 was the last playoff season that we had around here. So, but everything, camp is great. Things go well in camp, all that. It's great. It leads up to that opening game versus the Jets. It's at home. You got to win that game. You lose that game, it's a long year.
Well, I just think the negativity that comes with that too. Like I think this is a fan base now that is starving for any sign of competent football. It's been so long since they've seen it. And obviously, like, it's the same thing in New York. New York's its own thing. I mean, it's a major market, and the Jets are the Jets, so they've been, fodder for years at this point. So, I mean, the Jets are going to view it the same way, especially Jets fans are going to say, good Lord, if you can't beat the Titans and your former coach, I mean, you're just doomed from the start this year. So that's an interesting dynamic heading into all this. But I think if you're a Titans fan, you've suffered through Brian Callahan. You're excited about Cam Ward being the number 1 overall pick in the draft a couple years ago. You feel like you've got a competent general manager in place that's making good decisions. And if you come out there and just immediately lay an egg in that week 1, like, I don't want to put too much importance on a week 1 game, but it does feel like last year, I think everybody understood going into Denver with a rookie quarterback making his first start. That's probably going to be a tough task, right? Like, you're probably not winning that game.
Yeah.
And they actually played better in that game than I thought they would.
They played great.
But, the coach didn't know the rules, and that was a problem in that one. This one, I think the entire vibe is going to be different. You're going to be looking at it like, number 1, it's at home. Number 2, you're taking on a bad team, and you're taking on, a quarterback here with Cam Ward in year 2 that you want to see take a major step from year 1 to year 2. Like, if they lose that game, I think it will be so deflating for the fan base.
Oh, it is. And then the Eagles rolling next week, and Eagles are going to overtake Nissan. I'm telling you right now, they're going to overtake Nissan Stadium. You go 0-2, then you got to go to the Jets, and then not Jets, got to go to the Giants, and you're like, oh gosh, what's happening here? So just win that game, but be tough. And look, the key to me for the season is your 2 bookend tackles. If Dan Moore's terrible, J.C. Latham is terrible, it's going to be a long year. I remember seeing J.C. Latham. Max Crosby's a good defensive end. He absolutely abused. J.C. Latham almost quit in that game. It was embarrassing. He got a little better down the stretch. It was fine. But if they're bad, if your 2 tackles are bad, does it get any worse for Dan Moore Jr.? Can you get any worse? You got to improve at some point, right?
You could be worse than him, yes. But as a starting left tackle, it's not what you want.
No.
They're very clearly going to have to draft one next year.
Yeah. If Dan Moore can be average, it's not bad. Give me average all day long
right now.
And you'll figure out who a center is. I like Skoronski's coming to his own, playing really well. You got to figure out the other guard spot. There's still a lot of questions that go on there because we focus on Cam Ward, Carnell Tate, and Jeffrey Simmons and all that. But I think the secondary a little bit better. Defensive line's better. Linebackers were okay. Linebackers are not the reason they went 3-14. Those guys played tough last year. But it comes down to Cam Ward. Cam Ward is the catalyst. What can he cannot do? I thought Cam Ward was a maverick the last part of last year because there was really no coaching, and that was a coaching staff that was going to be gone anyway.
Yep.
So a lame duck staff. So we'll see what happens, but they got to come back in shape, get going, and then see what they can do.
See what they can do. And, good Lord, I'm so tired of talking about losing football around here. Like, if they got to 7 wins, I think I'd do a cartwheel in the studio. Like, just let's get this going here. This is a league where to be this bad for this long, it's not easy to do. Like, no, it's time to start turning this thing around and go the other way.
Yeah, look at them and the Cardinals. Terrible. 0-4 was terrible. That was after then the salary cap purge happened, and Samari Roll and Mason were all gone. 14 was pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
With Wisenuts, and they start out beating Kansas City that year, and we're like, oh,
Kid Wisenut's the greatest week 1 coach I've ever seen.
Right. In 15, they beat Tampa, and they fell apart. It's funny, people don't give Malarkey a lot of credit. I give Malarkey a lot of credit. They won a playoff game on the road, and then had that weird press conference where he said nobody supported him. Then he had to go play another game the next week in New England, and then he quit. And just the up and down of this franchise. But I'm telling you, outside of Nashville, nobody cares about this football team. Nobody cares about them. And because they haven't won games, they haven't been in the national spotlight. And to get in the national spotlight, got to win games, got to win big games, you got to show improvement, and they've showed none.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. Coming up next, how much is on the table for Clark Lee this year to prove that last year wasn't a fluke and that the ascension of Vanderbilt football is sustainable? We'll get into that coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Hour number 2, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game, presented by Green Ventures Landscaping for homes and businesses that want to stand out, not blend in. Visit greenventureslandscaping.com. We are live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership where the buzz is always about great service. Robbie Stanley, Big Joe Dubin, Ian Safar here with you on this Tuesday morning. Alex Daugherty from the Tennessean will be with us at 8 o'clock. We will get into all things Nashville Predators with him. Heath Evans, Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots, coming up at 8:30 here on the program as well. So looking forward to that. Taking your thoughts in the meantime, 615-737-1025. So, Joe, we all know it was a fantastic year for Vanderbilt football last year. You had Diego Pavia as a Heisman Trophy candidate. You had the best season in Vanderbilt football history. They went in Knoxville on the last day of the regular season and just absolutely destroyed Tennessee. Vibes were high coming off a 10-2 season last year. They were in the playoff discussion, at least, coming down the stretch. And it was incredible what Clark Lee was able to do. I mean, it's funny to think back, a couple of years ago prior to Pavia getting there were a lot of questions about Clark Lee and whether or not he's going to keep his job.
Yeah, right.
And to look back on that now is pretty funny. But you go 10-2 last year with Vanderbilt football, which is, kind of unthinkable if you've watched that for any length of time. So it's funny to bring this up because pressure is not the right word. There's no pressure on Clark Lee, right? Like he's
good to go.
He's good to go. He's got a new contract and he's not going anywhere and all those things. So pressure is not the right word. But I do wonder how important from your perspective do you think this season is in terms of maybe validating things? Because I think some people look at what happened. They say, all right, Diego Pavia was just a perfect storm for Vanderbilt football.
Right. Yeah.
And he is obviously a transformational player that they had there. Now, can they do it without him? Like when he's gone, can you still be a competitive team in the SEC without him? And they've got a heck of a recruit coming in there, Jared Curtis, and everybody's excited about that. And look, he may end up being better than Diego Pavia. We'll see what happens on that front. But, following this up, following it up from last year to this year with guys that are still on the team that are very talented, how important do you think this is for Clark Lee this year to prove that last year was not some fluke for Vanderbilt football?
That's a great question. I think you got to keep the momentum going. Here's a good thing. 5 of the first 7 games are at home, which is good. You got Austin Peay and Delaware and NC State that come to First Bank on the campus. That's good. You're at home. It's Jared Curtis, right? I mean, that's the answer. That's what's got to be the answer this year. If that guy comes in and lives up to the hype, they're going to roll again. What Clark Lee has done so well that nobody talks about is how well he put together an experienced offensive line, the last physical, mean offensive line. I watched several games where they just beat other teams down because of that offensive line. If you get a good offensive line back and Curtis can do some things, it's going to be a good year. Now you got to prove with Clark Lee, you do it without Pavia because you couldn't do it before when you didn't have Pavia. You did it with Pavia. Can you do it now? I think he's a hell of a coach. I think he's a smart coach. I think Vanderbilt's playing the portal really, really well, better than they are in Knoxville. And if he could get that offensive line back, rebuilt, good, strong, powerful through the portal, and Curtis can come in and do some good things, I think it's a great year, and Clark Lee's doing it. Now, if Curtis struggles and is not there, then it's a problem. I'm hearing, this is just me, that the backup over there is playing better than Curtis. I haven't seen it. I've heard it second and third hand, and we'll see what happens. But if Curtis can come in and play good, line's good, they've recruited really well, and Clark Lee has his teams always prepared. But in 21, 22, and 23, they weren't that good. Not at all. In 24, I'm like, he's on the hot seat. I apologized to him and said, hey, you're doing great now. He's like, yeah, I mean, you got to win games, right? And he did. So it's paramount. Can he do it without Pavia? That's the question. And Curtis is got to be the answer.
Well, and look, they don't have to go 10-2 this year. When I'm talking about following it up, I'm not saying that you've got to turn around at the end of the year and Vanderbilt's got to be in the college football playoff. But I think there's a big difference between, remaining competitive and winning games in the SEC and, going on the road and beating teams like Kentucky and Mississippi State. Like that should be, Vanderbilt should win those games this year.
That's right.
The Auburn game, that's your first SEC game. You've got a new coach coming in for Auburn and a team that hasn't been very good. Like you need to go win that game on the road. So I'm not saying you got to be in the college football playoff if you're Vanderbilt at the end of this year. Otherwise, it's signaling you're going the wrong way. But I do think it's important to get to the end of the year and us not be having the conversation of, oh, well, Vanderbilt's back to what Vanderbilt's always been, which is, they won 1 or 2 SEC games and that was it. And they struggled to get to 5-7 or 6-6 or whatever it is at that point. Like I think that from a momentum standpoint for your program is really important to follow it up this year and to have a good year. And Jared Curtis is going to be a big part of that. Like if Jared Curtis comes in and plays really well as a true freshman, I think you get really excited about what that's going to mean for your team over the next couple of years. I think you also, if he comes in and is that good, I think it also kind of gets you thinking of, all right, well, what are some guys that if you're Vanderbilt, who I would agree with you, as you said, using NIL pretty well right now, like how many guys can you bring in to play with it over the next few years or two? I think all of that is really important. They don't have to go 10-2 for this to be a pretty good follow-up from Clark Lee.
I agree. Do you know who the backup quarterback is?
Is it Blaise Berlowitz?
Whit Muschamp.
Oh, okay.
I'm here. He's playing really, he's got the pedigree with the father. I heard he's playing really well over there. But this is they're paying Jared Curtis a lot of money to get this done. And like I said, he's the answer. What can he do? Can he come in and do what they hope he can do? If he does that, I don't think they're going to miss a beat. I think there could be a really good football team. The last 3 games, I look at Vanderbilt's schedule. Had this been like 10 years ago or 15 years ago, like, oh, man, Alabama, at Florida, Tennessee. You're thinking, oh, man, Florida's winnable. Tennessee's winnable. Alabama's going to be tough, but that's here, right? So you look at what they did 2 years ago. Yeah. But there's got a great chance to start out 6-2.
Look,
it's a great chance.
I'll say it's funny to say this when Alabama and Georgia are on the schedule. Obviously going to Georgia and playing against Alabama are going to be tough. But, what is Ole Miss without Lane Kiffin? I don't know. We'll see this year. I don't know what they are.
So
we'll find out.
Back up to the Georgia game.
Yeah.
All right. So from people I know down in Athens that said Kirby was really pissed off the way Jared Curtis strung him along, right? So in that game, it could be a long day for Jared Curtis when Kirby's going to just pin the ears back and go after him. A freshman between the hedges that pissed you off, that strung you along a whole time, that you gave money to allegedly, when you're part of NIL, which what I heard, who knows? That's going to be a long day. How was that game? How do you recover? Can you win that? You go down and win that game, you're a national championship team.
Well, that'd be
right.
That would be a heck of a win. If they could go down there and win that game. I just think the schedule on paper heading into this, it's manageable. Again, and it's funny to say that when Georgia and Alabama are on the schedule, but I have no idea what Tennessee is going to be this year.
Correct.
What is Tennessee 7-5 or is Tennessee 10-2? I have no idea. I have no idea what Florida is in year one of a new coach. You've got Kentucky and Mississippi State on the road.
Love back.
Those are winnable games.
And a bye week in the middle of that.
You got Arkansas at home. That's a winnable game. You got Auburn on the road. That's a winnable game. So I guess what I'm saying is, from a scheduling perspective, it's not that bad for Vanderbilt heading into this one.
No, and who knows what Auburn's going to be? I have no idea. Win the first 3. Win the Austin Peay, win Delaware, beat NC State, 3-0, feeling good about yourself. Go on the road, Auburn, Georgia, and then, that's Auburn, Georgia, Ole Miss. Those right through there. That's going to be tough. And you get Arkansas, but I like seeing Kentucky and Mississippi State on the schedule because you're like, all right, those are manageable, winnable games that you can go. And to your point about Tennessee, last game of the year, if Tennessee's 5-6 going that game, you got them. Who knows? Florida's the same way. Who knows? There's not a lot of talent left in Florida right now. I think they got a hell of a coach in Summerall. I think he's a great coach. It's going to take a while to build those things back up. But, Vanderbilt's got a nice foundation because they're now playing the game off the field. And they can rebuild a few places and play positions. They'll be good, and it'd be great. And we'll see what happens with Clark Lee. But it's a pivotal year, obviously, because you want to see what you can do without Pavia.
Well, and I think Clark Lee has answered a lot of questions over the last. It's not just Pavia, right? Like Pavia is obviously the main reason why they were as good as they've been over the last 2 years. I mean, he came in and look, they beat Alabama, who was number 1 at the time a couple of years ago, and he was unbelievable in that game. And that was kind of the coming out party for Diego Pavia of, oh, this guy's really good. Like this guy's makes the plays. But again, like I think their overall roster, like they got some good players coming back this year.
Sure.
They got some good players. So I think Clark Lee has done a really good job of recognizing, all right, this is the way we're going to have to build our team. You brought up the offensive line. I think there was we're going to run a little bit different of an offense that, is a little bit more difficult for people to prepare for. And we used to joke about that with Vanderbilt when it came to like the triple option and stuff. And then they're not doing that by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
But I just think it's clear that he has totally changed the way that he's kind of running his program compared to the first 3 years he was here, and it's paid off really well for him.
Think about all the good football teams you remember. The offensive line was excellent. I mean, those guys were excellent. It starts up. Nobody wants to talk about him. Nobody wants to recruit guys. It's not pretty. It's not sexy offensive line. But, man, that is the foundation to every good football team. And Vanderbilt's had that the last couple of years. You keep going that way, it's going to be good. Again, to get those guys in there and be strong. But the last 2 years, that line was big and strong and powerful. I'll never forget 2 years ago, a friend of mine's a college coach, was on a bye week. He watched the first 2 series of Alabama and Vanderbilt. When Vanderbilt won, called me and says, Vanderbilt's winning this game. I'm like, it's early on. He's like, their offensive line is mauling Alabama's really good defensive line. Just watch. Started watching. I was like, man, they are. And it continued last year as well. So Clark Lee knows what he's doing. Get those guys on the same page. Again, it goes back to Jared Curtis. Is he your guy? Can he get it done? If so, it could be a nice year for Vanderbilt.
615-737-1025. So what do you think? How important is this year for Clark Lee and Vanderbilt to follow it up in the aftermath of Diego Pavia? We'll take your thoughts on that. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Today, the Nashville Sounds taking on the Charlotte Knights. First pitch at 6:04. Very specific. 6:04. Catch all the action on 94.9 The Fan, presented by Twin Peaks Family Leisure, Maple Street Biscuit Company, and Social Cantina. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. We'll have the Rob rant coming up later this hour. On the program.
So we had a Rob rant yesterday. This is good. I like this.
I mean, if you would like to rant, you can do it. But I've got several.
You got one?
Oh, I've got all of them.
Okay, I might keep one. I might tag on the back end of your rant that drives me crazy.
Okay.
Every time this happens. Okay. We'll get this.
We'll get that. We'll get that. Taking your thoughts, 615-737-1025. Zach on the YouTube chat says, is Clark Lee going to be a victim of his own success post-Pavia, quite like Heupel and Hendon Hooker, where you can't quite reclaim that magic in its slow decline? Now,
good point.
It's a good point. I will say, I mean, Heupel did make the college football playoff a couple of years after Hendon Hooker with Nico, and all that team was built, I mean, totally differently. Their defense was really good. They ran the ball really well. Yeah. Their passing attack was the weakest part of the team, but they did get to the college football playoff a couple years after Hooker was gone. And now we're going to see what Heupel does this year in response, and what's a big year for him, as we discussed yesterday. The first part of that question of, is he going to be a victim of his own success? That part is going to be interesting. Like, is last year a one-off from the standpoint of like Vanderbilt being a college football playoff contender, and again, a 12-team college football playoff? If it expands to 24, then, I mean, if you're not a playoff contender at that point, then it's probably a problem.
Absolutely ridiculous.
So there is that. But like, if they go 6-6 this year and Jared Curtis just looks okay, like, how much, if you're a Vanderbilt fan, are you looking at it and you're saying, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, where's this all going right now?
You're right. I keep a detailed log of what we talk about on our show. And a year ago, almost to the day, I had a chart that Vanderbilt a year ago had never had a 10-win season.
Yep.
They've got a 10-win season now.
Sure did.
So the trajectory is going up. He's built them that they believe they can win. A lot of that goes with Clark Lee, but you got to have good players around you, and I think it continues. I have a theme you'll probably hear when I talk about football, that the most important game is the next game, right? So I did it with the Titans and the Jets. Look, Vanderbilt, there's a loaded schedule, but you got Austin Peay, right? Oh, Austin Peay, blah, blah, blah. Beat them 70-0 and move on that way. That's what you focus on, see what you can do. I'm glad they're playing Austin Peay first and not NC State with the court. So Jared Curtis can come in, make a few mistakes, get acclimated to game day.
Yep.
People forget about that. Game day is paramount to your success. How you approach it, how you do the Commodore walk, how you warm up, get that all out of the way, and you got a pattern going there, and see what you can do. Then the next week, Delaware comes in here, which is fine. I mean, that's 2 wins. We know they should win those games and go forward. So you got a little confidence going with your football team to build upon. I think the schedule sets up them favorably to go forward. But I'm telling you, I went to the LSU Vandy game last year, and I grew up watching Vanderbilt football. To watch a Vanderbilt football team push around LSU last year, it was a good team when they came in here, pushed them around. Did Kelly quit after that game? Did Brian Kelly
close,
quit after the? I mean, Vanderbilt dominated them in every aspect of the game.
I think he did get fired after that.
I think he did.
I know it was close game, but to watch a Vanderbilt football team go toe-to-toe with a loaded SEC team was amazing. Was an amazing thing to see. Clark Lee built that. And, yeah, you built through NIL, but you built it the right way. I think it's good. I think they'll be good this year if they start off strong and get Curtis the confidence that he needs.
One texter says, I'm interested to see what Tim Beck can do with Curtis. His scheme has always been a bit cheeky with that CUSA flair. Pavia was an incredible exception, bringing that success into the SEC. It'll be interesting to see what a more traditional quarterback can put a spin on that scheme and if it'll hold up with a freshman.
All right, so
how much do you change it to? Because
it's going
to have to be a little different than it was with Pavia.
So Middle Tennessee played Pavia to Mexico State in 2023. Between the 15s, couldn't stop him. Inside the 15, Pavia got nowhere, and Middle lost that game 13-7. I told Chip Walters after the game, they played Auburn the next week, and I said, Auburn has never seen this. And Pavia ran all over. And that was one of the games Clarkley talked about. I was like, hey, that really showed us on that at Auburn to go in there and beat them that way, showed us what that this guy's got something. So they built upon Pavia's strength. What is Curtis's strength now? We don't know, right? Yeah, he beat DCA.
Yeah.
Right. He beat the small schools around. Fine. That's
SEC
great.
football. What are we talking about?
Yeah, right. So you need to see that and go forward, and hopefully you beat Austin P. Will, you beat Delaware, you beat NC State, you're feeling good about yourself, and you go on the road and you got the confidence. And that's what a young quarterback needs, is confidence.
Well, we're going to get into here in just a few minutes, kind of looking at Tennessee and Vanderbilt. And if you're, trying to pick one for the next 5 years, who would you be? Who would you rather take right now? Which I know some Tennessee football fans will be like, it's just a ridiculous question. I'm interested to see where it goes.
Listen, nothing annoys a Tennessee fan more than Vanderbilt. Doesn't piss them off. They don't get angered. They're annoyed. And that's the worst kind of feeling you could have.
I know. So we'll get into that here in just a few minutes. But
just a quick aside, I think Brian Kelly got fired after the A&M loss.
A&M game? Okay. There you go.
Was that after Vanderbilt, then A&M?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did not go well for LSU in the A&M game. I do remember that. There's a chance with both Tennessee and Vanderbilt. We've talked about growing pains with young quarterbacks. There's question marks as to what that's going to look like with both. There's also a chance that we get halfway through this season and you're looking around and you're like, good Lord, Vanderbilt's got an absolute stud as a freshman quarterback in Jared Curtis. And Tennessee, whether it's McIntyre or Faison Brandon, has got an absolute stud 5-star quarterback there too. And you're feeling great about where both of these programs are for the next 5 years or certainly next 2 or 3 because of the quarterback play that they're going to be having with those guys.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this. Curtis comes out and he's great, right? And he's doing great and he's kicking ass and everything. And you're Kentucky and you're like, all right, they're paying him $2.4 million. We're going to pay him $5 million. It's a whole new game that we never thought about before. Bill Belichick did it with Wes Walker and a lot of guys in NFL. The guys who are beating me, I'm going to make them join my team. Who's going to stop? This could get out of hand.
It's just you'll be bidding against yourself at that point, right?
Right.
If Jared Curtis comes in and plays really well, same thing with Faison Brandon in Tennessee. People come after him, and then if you're Tennessee or if you're Vanderbilt, you're going to have to decide, how much you're willing to pay.
As my coaching buddy says, you have to re-recruit every player every year.
Which, by the way, is why you're seeing some college coaches get tired of it and leave.
Right. What's the guy for the Dolphins? Hafley?
Yeah.
He left Boston College. I've been doing this. Goes to Green Bay for DC for a year or two, and Miami. You don't have to do that in the pros. Somebody does that negotiating for you. You just coach.
Yeah, exactly. So, again, that's a problem that I think if you're a Vanderbilt fan or a Tennessee fan with these quarterbacks, you'd love to have because that means they're playing well.
Yeah.
But it's certainly something you worry about. Look, if you're Kirby Smart, everything you just said is accurate about Jared Curtis. Also, if he's really good this year, if I'm Kirby Smart, I'm saying, all right, buddy, you sure you don't want to come back down here? I'm circling back and asking him all the time. Right?
Absolutely you are. Yeah, and that's the thing is hey, they're going to remember this game next year. No, they don't, because I think Middle had 2 years ago had 69 new players.
Yeah.
They're not the year to year is done. It's over with. It's gone. And so you just go move forward and concentrate on this year. But yeah, you re-recruit these guys and see what you could do. And Vanderbilt, if Curtis is good, you're going to have to keep adding up that dough for him and see what you can do. And that's a good problem to have. How many good problems has Vanderbilt had in 40 years?
Not very many, man.
Not a lot.
And it seems like they're coming more and more often lately.
Yeah.
Not just football, but their entire athletic.
Oh, it is. And we go back to about Pavia and annoying and Tennessee and Vanderbilt. What Pavia did in Neyland Stadium last November just drove my good Tennessee football fan friends insane because they thought he was going to roll into Knoxville. The crowd was going to get behind the team and they were going to beat Pavia. And hell, he still might be running the streets of Knoxville right now. Yeah, right.
It was over quick.
It was
in that one. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. So we'll throw that question out there. You can be one of these football programs for the next 5 years, and you can put your stock in it. Are you putting it in Vanderbilt? Or are you putting it in Tennessee? We'll take your thoughts on that. Rob Rant coming up later this hour. Alex Daugherty at 8 o'clock. All that ahead. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. We'll have the Rob Rant coming up here in just a few minutes at 7:45. Alex Daugherty from the Tennessean will be with us at 8 o'clock on the program. We are taking your thoughts in the meantime, 615-737-1025. I've seen this meme floating around on social media breaking down the United States versus Belgium. It says U.S. 104 SEC championships, Belgium 0. U.S. 60 Super Bowls, Belgium 0. 6 moon landings for the U.S., 0 for Belgium.
Yes.
1 FIFA appeal for the U.S., 0 for Belgium. Although Belgium did have one yesterday. 2,000 plus Waffle Houses for the U.S., 0 for Belgium, and 16 hot dog eating contest champions, 0 from Belgium.
I wonder what the Cracker Barrel situation is there in Belgium. Actually,
we probably outnumber them.
Yeah,
on that,
right.
So.
Yeah, I mean
although Belgium should probably look to expand, some of that, maybe add
especially
some
Waffle
locations.
You would think the Belgian waffles, like maybe they could have their own
version
style Waffle House. Yeah,
I would hope that they do.
But are you going to have a Belgian Waffle House cook try to fight you at 3 a.m.?
Probably not.
Not going to happen, right?
and
then not only fight you and whip your ass, but then cook you an excellent breakfast.
Yeah, right after.
That is the most amazing thing.
It's it's one of the world's great places.
What's that great? It's a comment somebody left a Waffle House, said, your food sucks, all of your stuff sucks, blah, blah, blah. And Waffle House responds on their official account and says, say that to our face, come to any Waffle House.
Yeah.
We're waiting for you. I was like, yes, that's why we love Waffle House, man. So good.
I've been in some ratty looking Waffle Houses over the years. And frankly, the rattier it is, the better I feel. I'm like, yep, we're in a good spot, man. This will be good.
We need to have Robby and Rexrode at Waffle House
like
2 times a week.
I'd love to.
Like
the orders being shouted on the back.
In perpetuity, man.
I think that and I don't know how the system works. I think the cooks at Waffle House have to be some of the smartest people on the earth, because people are just yelling stuff out at them all the time, and somehow they get it. They just get it every time. They're like speaking their own language.
Single time.
It's amazing.
Screaming across a crowded restaurant, and they no problem. And they don't get mad.
Go. Yeah. It's amazing. Every time I'm in there, I'm like, I don't know how they ever pick up anybody's order.
Right. If you go to Waffle House and the cook opens the door for you and he's on a cigarette break, you're like, this is
a good spot.
This is the best meal ever.
This is going to be a good spot right here. Yep. So take some of that, Belgium. We're still winning. Still winning in the aftermath of the loss last night. All right, I threw the question out there. Over the next 5 years, you could be the Tennessee football program. You could be the Vanderbilt football program. Which one are you taking if you're putting stock in these programs? One texter says, at this point, I'm putting my stock in the unknown. The perception is the Vols have reached the ceiling under Heupel, and they're not going to be able to just sway kids with other elite athletes, fleecing them for a payday each year. So there is that. I mean, that is a perception that's out there, that the Vols have reached their ceiling. That's why I think this is a pivotal year. Joe, I ask you, you can pick one of these programs the next 5 years.
I got to go. I follow both these programs for 40 plus years. I got to go for Tennessee right now, because I've not seen Vanderbilt sustain this. I haven't. I mean, I saw the good majors teams of the 80s do it. I saw Fulmer's teams of the 90s do it. It got a little sideways in the 2000s and the 10s and a little bit. And Vanderbilt's improved since then. But, Heupel's still 5-1. Is it right? 21, 22, 3 to 4.
You think it's
4-1.
Yep.
Over Vanderbilt. He's been there. I got to go Tennessee right now, because I've seen that pattern. Recruit better than Vanderbilt right now. I mean, Vanderbilt, to me, the academics event is great, but I'm telling you, a lot of kids don't care about that. They don't. How many? I'm playing from 100,000 people. I'll be TV every week, national TV, big games. I think that's still a success. With that being said, though, I think Clark Lee's the right guy for Vanderbilt, and they're trending upwards, which is great. But I got to go Tennessee.
Well, it's interesting because I have way more confidence that Clark Lee will be the head coach at Vanderbilt 5 years from now than I do that Josh Heupel will be the head coach at Tennessee.
That's a good point.
Way more. Like I think not that Heupel can't be in 5 years, But I do think there's a day, like if it doesn't go great for them this year, he will be on the hot seat heading into next year. Clark Lee is not going to be on the hot seat at Vanderbilt anytime soon, based on what he just did there.
But now, that's the pattern.
And that's the pattern. And what does that mean? Like, is Heupel the coach 5 years from now? If he's not the coach 5 years from now, is that because they've gone out and hired someone better? Are they in a better spot 5 years from now? Are they in a worse spot? I don't know. I think there's a lot more unknown with Tennessee from the standpoint of like what the coach is going to look like 5 years from now.
Right.
I do think, we just had the Vanderbilt discussion in terms of proving it again. I'm more with you where I need to see them do it in the aftermath of Pavia being there, where you say, all right, this isn't just some one player thing where they got the right player at the right time and they ran into a lot of good fortune. This is actually something that they have built and has staying power moving forward.
I will go back when Manning left Knoxville in 97. I'll never forget the name. Wow, Manning's gone. It's T. Martin. He's okay. And somebody said, look at that football team beyond the quarterback. Look, the Al Wilsons, everybody on that, look at this team. I'm like, oh, yeah. Does Vanderbilt have that with Pavia being gone? I mean, is the line there? Is the defense going to be good? I don't know. It's a lot of unknowns that go on.
Yep.
At least at 98, you're like, okay, I see what you got now. You got a good running back. You got things going on. So can Vanderbilt do that? But I got to see that pattern going on. Plus, not a lot of pressure for Clark Lee. I mean, there is pressure, but not the same you have at Knoxville because of the expectations.
Yep.
This is fun if you're a Vanderbilt fan. This is a playground, man. You're having a good time. It's fun. You're winning games you never thought you'd win. You're pissing off people that you want to piss off and go forward. So they're trending in the right way. I just think overall right now, Tennessee is more powerful in everything that they do, even though Vanderbilt kicked their ass. I get all that. But I'll hook it to Tennessee right now.
Well, Tennessee should be the answer on this. I mean, just based on resources, right? Like Tennessee, they just signed the Adidas deal. They spend, not as much as anybody, but pretty close. Like they're up there in the upper echelon of athletic departments and their commitment, which I think is part of the frustration from Tennessee fans, which is, all right, well, if you're doing all this and you're building this new entertainment district in Neyland and all this other stuff, when's that going to pay off in a championship, right? Like I think that's what the expectation is. So I think the ground's a lot more volatile there because there's so much angst among the fan base of, all right, are you going to go from being a team that's pretty good, winning 8-9 games every year, to a team that is actually competing for a championship, which it's been a long time since they've done that.
And, in Tennessee last year at 8-4, we talked about had they beaten Georgia, how much different that season would have been last year.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you lost to them, and you lost to every game that you were not favored in, right? Is that what it was?
I believe that is correct. Yeah.
You beat the ones you favored in. You didn't come close to beating. I mean, look, they got lucky at Mississippi State.
They did.
But I will tell you, I'd rather be lucky than good any day of the week, but you win the game and go forward. As long as Danny White is in Knoxville, he's tied to Heupel. When an AD hires a college football coach, the clock starts ticking. So as long as Danny White's there, Heupel is good. I think Heupel's I think he's a great coach. People can say, whatever. Look, when he arrived in Knoxville in January of 21, remember everybody that left? I mean, hell, everybody left Knox County.
I remember the reaction on this show when that happened.
Everybody left Knox County. And then you go to the Music City Bowl that first year. All right. Then the next year, you're at the Orange Bowl. You just pound Clemson down there. And I think they might have peaked just a tad too early, but you're right. They go to the playoffs in 24. Look, you went 8-4. It's not great, but it's okay. You go to a bowl game, you're winning games. We seem to forget what happened with Old Dooley there for a little bit, and Pruitt, which was a disaster. And look, man, it's a different playing field now. NIL's opened everything up. There are no more dynasties that's going to happen, but you go year to year, and it's always a crucial year for all these teams.
Well, and the Vanderbilt part of this, let's say they do have a good year this year, and they're 8-4, or they're 9-3. We just went through their schedule. You don't feel great about the Georgia game. You don't feel great, even though I know Alabama is more vulnerable than they used to be under Nick Saban. It's still Alabama. Like they're going to be more talented than you are heading into this year. Other than that, you're looking at the schedule, and I don't know if there's any game you look at and you say, well, we're going to be really behind the 8 ball on that one. Like, again, I don't know what Tennessee is. I don't know what Florida is. And there's always, there's a danger, Joe, of looking at, the schedule in July and trying to come up with what that's going to play out, because it never plays out the way we think it's going to.
Right.
But I'm just saying that with this new era of how big all these conferences are now, and you've got the 9-game SEC schedule, and you're just going to have imbalanced schedules across the league. I think this is a year where the schedule actually breaks out okay for Vanderbilt. Whereas I look at Tennessee this year and I say, well, you have Texas, you have Alabama, you have LSU, you've got A&M on the road. Like, Tennessee's schedule this year is, I mean, it's unquestionably more difficult than Vanderbilt's is heading into this. So how does that play out for both sides? I don't know, but that's the nature of the game in today's SEC. Is that's what, you know, every year you're going to look at one team's schedule in the SEC and you're going to look at somebody else in the same conference. You're going to say, well, those aren't close to the same. How does it break out that way?
Yeah. There's one game. I mean, any game, I have my MTSU football duty, so I can't go anyway. But if I had picked one game, pro or college this year to go to, it's that Texas at Tennessee game. It's
nice 11 o'clock start.
Don't get me started. That just really royally gets me fired up, because that is so stupid. Yeah, I mean, you got to leave Nashville at 5, hope to get there by game time. It's terrible. But that's the game, man. I mean, the hype and everything goes on. And that's a game Tennessee they have to win that game. You have to win that. We got to win all the games. I get it. But with the hype surrounding that game, you have to take it down, right? And then Peyton's already come out on record saying he's going to be for his nephew.
Yeah, which I don't blame him. That's fine.
Right? That's okay. Then take it to Texas, take it to Arch. Let his only view of that whole game be on his butt, looking upward like, what the hell happened today, to do that. But I can't wait for that game to see what happens. But that's a crucial game. They're all crucial games. But for Tennessee, that is the one that sits at the top.
615-737-1025, our phone number. The Rob Rant coming up next. Alex Daugherty at 8 o'clock. Heath Evans at 8:30 on the program. All that coming up. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game.
Don't make me angry.
Sometimes you have to tell someone to pound sand.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
This is the Rob Rant. Now on Robby and Rexrode.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Get off the phone.
I am sick of these people, especially the Vols fans. Joe is such a get off my grass old man.
Appreciate whatever friend of mine has signed me up for hymns text messages.
This is a low T alert.
I don't like this media, guy. Just bring your cameras on down.
Do I have to keep my shirt on?
I haven't bought my own shirt in a long time.
I'm not very good at assessing bodies with shirts on.
Good gracious.
It is time for the Rob Rant, served by the wine cellar in Hendersonville. The rant of the day here on the program. You make it a couple. All right, here's where I want to start. I may have gone down this road before, but it's become somewhat prevalent again over the last couple of weeks of my life, and it's kind of a two-part thing.
Okay.
So, number one, I want to speak to the consumer out there that is going through, the drive-through, the counter at the grocery store, whatever it is. I mean, the grocery store is not a great example, but the counter inside the sandwich shop, whatever it is.
Yeah.
When you get up to the counter, be ready to order, okay? When you get to the drive-through speaker, be ready to order, particularly when you've had several minutes to sit there and wait, okay? Like when you're just sitting there waiting or you're standing in line and you walk up to the counter and you're not ready to order, you've got to sit there and just read for a second.
Yeah.
It drives me insane. Do not step up to the counter if you're not ready to order. Don't step up to the speaker, particularly if you've been sitting in a line full of cars that has taken 2-3 minutes to go. Like, you ought to know what you're getting by the time you get up there. Conversely, and kind of in a similar vein, if you're the person taking the order and you either look at me in the shop or you speak to me through the drive-through speaker and you say, hey, welcome to so-and-so, what can I get you? Be ready to hear the order, okay? If you say, hey, welcome to McDonald's, what can I get you? And I tell you my order, and you come back on and you say, hey, what was that? Can you say that again?
Right.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I order 3 times because you're not listening and you're doing everything else in there and you're not actually taking time to take the order. It drives me insane. It's happened on both instances about 4 times over the last 2 weeks. And I need people to be ready to do live in the moment, be ready to do what you're stepping up to do. Be ready to order at the counter. Okay. If you're not ready, don't step up to the counter. Be ready to take the order when you tell me you're taking the order. If you're not ready, then don't come on the speaker yet, but wait until you're ready. It drives me insane. And it's driving me nuts the last couple of weeks. And maybe I just need to stop going to these places. It's probably step one.
What's the concern for this? I mean, they're not paying attention?
They're not paying attention.
Okay.
Well, it just, particularly the ones that walk up that are standing in line and you get to the counter and you're not ready. Like, what are you doing when you're in line? Are you just on your phone?
Yeah.
Are you talking to other people?
Yeah.
Like, when you walk up to that counter, you need to be ready. You need to know what you want out there. I don't think that's some crazy thing. Like, be ready to order at that time.
Okay. I'm with you on that.
It's unbelievable to me.
Is there a particular establishment that does, you don't have to name names, that does it all the time? Do you?
No, I think it's pretty widespread, man. Like it's become more widespread.
Okay.
I think on both sides of people taking orders that aren't ready to take them, or people that just stare at the screen all day. Like, yeah, I'll be with you in 5 minutes when I figure out my order. Like, what are you in the line for?
Well, it's like going through the drive-through at the bank. If you have more than 2 transactions, I am on the horn.
Yeah.
Here's my quick rant, and it drives me crazy. There's a 7-Eleven by my gym. I go in every day after I work out. Love it. Great people there. Why are you locking one of the 2 doors? Right?
Yeah, at the end of the gas station. Yeah.
Why? Well, you got 2. Why is one locked? This drives me crazy.
That happens a lot more than you would think, doesn't it?
Why? Tell me. If you tell me why that door's locked, I'd be fine. Nobody has an answer. I don't know. Why is that door locked? You got 2 doors. Open the door. So I don't have to open the door and wait for 5 people to come in. I could easily go out that door.
I mean, honestly, it's probably a fire hazard.
It probably
to keep
is.
It locked.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, every now and then I will borderline like separate my shoulder because I've got so much momentum coming to the door. And then you go to shove it and it just doesn't move because it's locked. It's like, oh, good. This door that you have here is not usable. Great.
Well, I asked somebody at a store, I said, why is this door locked? And she said, you see the numbers on the side of the door? That's if you rob us, we can tell how tall you are when you leave. I said, first of all, that's not what I asked. Secondly, I'm not robbing you. Third, why is the door locked, right? So now when I go and I look at the numbers on the side of the door,
wait a minute.
It is to tell you how tall you are. Like, how tall was he? Why?
About 6'3". If you get the pencil, just mark
I
it off.
saw the number on the side of the door. So you didn't answer my question. So I don't know. I want to know why the door is locked. It's locked every single damn time I go in and out there. And you're right. You get the momentum and you hit it. One of these days, somebody's hand's going to go through that wall, that door. There's a nice little lawsuit for you. Boom.
One texter says it actually is a fire hazard and goes against building safety code for them to keep the doors locked at the entrance.
I buy that. I believe that. Yeah.
But why is it locked?
I don't know.
Just tell me why it's locked. Are you afraid of vampires?
It's probably
and
one
that
of those
can't come through the right door? That's
things
fine.
where it's just locked all the time. And so that's just become the protocol.
Then no one
and they just keep it locked.
Just don't
now.
do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's crazy to me.
It's more. You're right, Ian. It's more than you realize at these different places around to do all that.
People very complimentary of the rants that are going on today. We're speaking to a lot of people here. Chris says, Robby, when you're in the drive-thru, the person taking your order is scrolling their phone. Could be.
Oh,
Stop.
absolutely.
Work. I mean, this could be a rant for all of us. Let's spend less time scrolling our phones. That'd be great.
I've been through one drive-through. I guess it was a couple months ago. AI taking the order on the screen.
Oh man.
You go through and it's like it's a computer AI. You tell them the order.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that. And I was critical of Waymo early on, but the fact that I think Waymo will end up killing me one day, I don't talk about Waymo anymore like that because
they're listening.
They're listening and they just that whole Waymo AI thing, not a fan.
Every now and then I will I'll tell Google Gemini, I'll say, hey, thanks. Just so if it comes to life, it doesn't kill me.
Right.
You know?
And they're like, wait, what about Robby Stanley? Well, he was really nice to us.
He's kind of polite every now and then.
Like my Google Nest, when I'm leaving, hey, Google, I'm always like, have a good day. And I'm like, why am I talking to a box? The simple fact is in the back of my mind, it's somewhere it's like, all right, you know what? He was really nice to us.
We're not going to kill him.
We're not going to kill him. We're going to spare him. So I'm like, hey, Google, have a nice day. And it's like, hey, Google, do you mind please turn up the music a little bit loud? I mean, it's always very complimentary.
Set a timer, please.
Yeah.
Or whatever, please.
But I talk to my Google Nest like I'm talking to you two. I don't want to be rude.
Yeah.
It's not how I am. Like, Google, turn it off.
A lot of people talking about the security door, saying that it delays, the idea behind it being locked is to delay a robber when they're leaving the gas station. I mean, my question would be like, what kind of delay are we talking about? Like it's a second, right?
Right. Are we that worried about robbery?
Like how much of a delay? Like can the robber not figure out that the other door is unlocked? Like that's how much of a delay is it causing?
But why is it locked at 10 o'clock in the morning or at noon? I guarantee I could go to that 7-Eleven right now and it's 7:54 and that door's locked. It's always locked. I don't need the door. I need it open. I don't know why we're doing this.
I don't know. But hey, anything to delay the thieves as long as we can out there.
Yeah. What are Rexrode's usual rants about just the story of him getting his computer at the gas station?
Yeah.
I'm not laughing at that because that's so
I'm glad you're not, because I did for a little while.
Because that's so bizarre that happened. But I could see him still being the guy in his lawn chair in the front yard just screaming at people.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Mom, he's back out in the yard again. Let him stay out there. That's where he belongs to do all that. But, yeah, so we need to get the fast forward orders taken quicker and then the doors unlocked.
A lot of people texting in establishments that have AI orders that take place. You're just talking to AI. That's probably going to become more and more of a thing.
Well, who makes the order?
Hopefully not AI. Hopefully that's a real person.
Did you see, Ian, I know you watched the soccer game last. Did you see the commercial about the youth of soccer growing up?
Mm-mm.
It's like Robby's at 15 and he kicks a goal, and then Ian's at 14 and they're all soccer players. And the last shot is of a robot playing soccer. This robot's 2 years old or something. I was like, here we go.
Maybe that'll be when we win the World Cup.
I did see a clip of someone from the U.S. soccer management talking about how they're using AI now to scout players. And right then I was like, oh,
we're done.
We're cooked.
Did you see
we're cooked?
Did you see the robot in China that was
kicked that kid right in the
crotch?
Yep.
And then he doubled over and he kicked
looked like
another
he was in
kid.
pain. That looked painful. Would you imagine being a kid getting kicked in the stomach or midsection by a metal robot very hard? Seriously, that could seriously cause internal bleeding.
Oh, absolutely. And then the robot goes across the room on another side and people just kind of scatter, man.
That's why I'm nice to it. I don't want it kicking me. You know? Just go kick somebody else.
Yeah, get out of here, man.
615-737-1025, our phone number. Alex Daugherty from the Tennessean with us coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Final hour, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game, brought to you by Green Ventures Landscaping for homes and businesses that want to stand out, not blend in. Visit greenventureslandscaping.com. Robby Stanley, Big Joe Dubin, Ian Safar here with you on this Tuesday morning. We head to our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in our friend Alex Daugherty to the program, who does a great job covering the Nashville Predators for the Tennessean. Alex, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing really good. How are y'all? Good morning.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you taking time to be with us. So, Alex, I want to start on the Maverick Bourque deal. Preds make the Maverick Bourque trade. They bring him in, sign him to a contract extension. You know, he's played on the wing in Dallas. He's played down the middle. I think Predators, based on what Chris McFarland had to say, I like the idea of him potentially playing center here. So what do you make of the deal, and what do you make of the fit? How do you kind of view this Maverick Bourque trade for the Nashville Predators?
Yeah, it's a really good deal. I mean, it's a 6-year deal, $5.5 million a year for a 24-year-old. I mean, who potentially could be your second line center. I mean, it's hard to really understand exactly how the centers are going to play out here because, last year you had Matthew Wood at that role. But either way, you're going to have a top six center who, I mean, from everything that I've seen and from all the numbers that he has put out there, looks like a really solid puck possession guy, good offensively, good defensively, plays power play, could play penalty kill if he wanted. I mean, just kind of a do everything. And he's 24. I mean, they've not had a workhorse under 25 in a very long time, since going back to when Philip Forsberg first broke through and the Ryan Johansson when he was here. So like it's a really good deal, but it's also, not something that if it goes wrong is gonna hurt you. I mean, there's no, according to the reports, there's no trade protection. So if the wheels just fall off and it's just not working, you can move it. I'm not anticipating that. I think he's going to be really good, but it's a really good overall deal, and it really speaks to the methodology, the sort of intentionality that I think Chris McFarland has had so far. He really came in and he's really good at analyzing where you're at, the actual numbers behind a player and what your roster situation is at, and figuring out a solution. Not all of the moves he's made that made a whole lot of sense to me. The Alex Kerfoot deal, I don't really get, but whatever, that's fine. You're going to have one or two of those. Most of them are great, and I think he's done a really good job to turn around the age bracket of this team. I think it's a good deal. Yeah,
I mean, kind of building off that, I look at what you just said about center, and we'll see what happens with Matthew Wood and where they decide to put him. But when you think back, I guess it's something that we knew, but we just don't talk about all that much. The last time they added like a 24, 25, 26-year-old impact player, and we'll see how good he ends up being, but I'm with you. I think he's going to be a top six player. Like, to me, this is a big deal from the franchise from the standpoint of, like, it's basically adding another player at, I think, a very controllable price and an age range that can help you now, but also should really help you, Alex, here in a couple of years when theoretically you should be moving back into, contender status if some of these younger guys kind of hit the way they hope they will.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this will give you this makes it so you don't have to force Brady Martin into that role next year, right? Yep. With the new rule, Brady Martin can start in Milwaukee next year, which I would not be surprised if he does, and get some good months under his belt there. It makes it so by the time someone like Brady Martin or Riker Lee, who we've seen recently, are ready to, Igor Surin, same thing, are ready to actually like pop and be like a contributing 22, 23-year-old. Then Maverick Bourque is there still, and he's 26, 27. So a really good age. Are those players going to be ready to be your top line? I have no idea. We just have no clue there. But like that, he's the way that McFarland has kind of assessed the situation, I think is exactly what you want. I think it would have been a mistake to try to just blow up the team and try to trade off everybody, because he knows he can't really do that, right? I mean, like the trade protection is just too big to overcome. So I think he's picked the best option in terms of how to proceed now that you can't just strip everything away and rebuild, but you don't want to obviously go try to get, some expensive impact player to try to add another 33-year-old to the roster. I think it's the perfect result.
Alex, what do you think the conversations have been like between Brunette and McFarland?
It sounds like they've been pretty minimal so far. I mean, I don't think that McFarland has spent a whole lot of time dealing with Brunette. I think on June 3rd when he talked, he said, he knew Brunette, he'd seen him around, but then he's got to talk to him. And then after a couple weeks of dealing with everything he was dealing with, he basically said, we talked to the coaching staff and we want to keep him around. I don't think that there's any kind of long-term agreement here that's yeah, you're our coach for the future. I don't think it's that. But I think he trusts that he probably talked to players, he probably talked to staff internally and heard that, Brunette is very highly regarded. And then this team, the problems with this team over the last couple of years were not coaching. I know that's really difficult for a lot of people who are casual fans to figure out, because it just always seems you got to fire the coach if it's not working.
Right.
But he was handed just a really strange situation. He was handed a bunch of parts that didn't really fit together and a lot of pressure to immediately go and try to win a Stanley Cup because you signed Steven Stamkos. Just was unrealistic. Now, having said that, I think you saw a lot of improvement over this last year. I mean, look at the progress that young players like Matthew Wood, Luke Evangelista made. He really improved the power play. I'm talking about Brunette now. He really improved the power play. The penalty kill was pretty solid. The players never stopped playing for the guy. I mean, it was never that. You had the only thing we ever saw was a conflict between sort of a conflict between him and Jonathan Marchessault. I mean, that I don't know how that's going to resolve, but I don't think that's a reason to fire the coach. I think that's a reason to get rid of the player. But so to answer your question, I think the conversations have been fairly limited. I don't think that McFarland thought that coach was the biggest problem. I think he thought he knew immediately, hey, this roster needs a lot of work and fix that first.
Well, Brunette can make this really easy by coming out of the gate, winning games. And then, there's no question about, wow, my God, that first month, if they're terrible, just win games and be on the same page. And I think it could be a nice little relationship between McFarland and Brunette going forward. But you got to win. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And that's why I'm saying, I don't think there's any kind of a, he's our guy moving forward. And you got to remember this, let's look at what McFarland's already done. He has already gotten a couple of guys from Colorado where he saw him up close. He got, he re-upped with Justin Barron, a player that he helped draft. This was a small story, but not an insignificant one. He snagged one of Colorado Avalanche's data analytics people, Dawson Spriggings, got him over into Nashville because he wanted to upgrade the data analytics. So I'm not saying it's going to happen, but things with Coach Jared Bednar in Colorado are on thin ice, right? And if they don't win a cup over the next year, or don't get past the second round, let's say, who's to say that McFarland might not reach out and say, hey, Jared Bednar, we might have a coach opening here. Maybe you want to come on board and coach in Nashville. So he's got options moving forward. But it's just it wouldn't make any sense right now to fire Brunette, right?
Yeah, I'm with you. With Trotz's tenure as a GM, I'm right around a D+, C- and all this, and because it didn't work out the way he thought it would be. How much is Barry Trotz, though, going to be a fan of Chris McFarland? Because if these players that Trotz brought in and they develop and McFarland can put these pieces around him, it'll make Trotz's tenure here look a little bit better. Is that an accurate statement?
Yeah, I think about this a lot, actually, because I think if you look at the drafts that Barry Trotz was in charge of, they have the potential to be just outstanding. I mean, especially, this past one we don't know yet because obviously it's way too early, but Brady Martin's probably going to be a solid player. The Riker Lee pick is looking better every day. We still don't know about Tanner Mollendijk. He could be good. Igor Sorin looks good. The drafts have been could potentially be really transformative. As big as the 2003 draft was with Ryan Suter and Shea Weber and all that. But that's about it. If the drafts don't hit, then we look at this general manager from tenure from Barry Trotz as pretty much just a disaster. But it doesn't affect his legacy. I mean, like no one's sitting here saying Barry Trotz is a black sheep now. Like everyone loves the guy. No one's out here trying to ruin his legacy because of a few bad years as a general manager. If anything, it was a learning lesson. It shows you exactly what can happen when you put a coach in charge of a front office job. It doesn't usually work out.
All right, Alex, last thing for you here. What do you make of how kind of the defense is structured here with Barron getting a new deal yesterday? And also, like, how much of an open spot do you think there is for a guy like, a Molendijk to step in there if he has a good camp? Or, I would assume we're going to see a pretty elevated role from Ryan Ufko this year. How do you kind of view where the defense is right now?
Yeah, and the Molendijk one is interesting. I think we've heard a lot from McFarland talk about the prospects and how he really has emphasized, like, if they're not ready, they're not ready. I feel like it's going to be a while for those guys because they have 8 defensemen signed through 26-27. Now, I don't know what they're going to do with Labushkin. I don't know if they're actually going to play this guy or if they're just using him for a future trade piece or how that's going to work. The guy that they got from Dallas in the Maverick Fork deal. But the defense, I think, is going to look – it could look pretty similar. But, on free agency day, McFarland talked about, we asked him, are there going to be any – or I asked him if there's going to be any more moves because they've got like 26 players signed for next year. And he was like, yeah, maybe that could happen. Yeah. And he pointed to the defense specifically. So someone on that group's getting moved. I don't even know if someone like an Adam Wilsby is going to play next year. I mean, like they've got all these players. So we'll see what happens. And then, you've got at least 3 or 4 guys on this roster are either going to be starting in Milwaukee, like someone like Joachim Kimmel, or on other teams. I mean, like there's just not enough room for all these players right now. So the defense is a big question. We'll see what happens there. I don't think we're going to see Molendijk yet. I think that's going to be a little bit down the line.
Alex, great stuff, man. Appreciate you taking time to be with us this morning, and we will talk to you soon, my friend.
Yeah, I just wanted to say also, you guys are talking about being nice to AI.
Yeah.
I just wanted to go ahead and throw it out there. I am not nice to AI. I hate AI, and I want nothing to do with it.
So it's going to kill you.
If I'm dead on the side of the road, you know what happens.
Yeah, we do.
There's going to be a job opening pretty soon at the Tennessean. All right. Noticed that. All right. Get my resume ready. I don't know anything about hockey, but they'll need somebody soon. All right.
There we go. Good to know. Fight the good fight, Alex. We appreciate it. There we go. Alex Daugherty from the Tennessean, our guest on Robby and Rexrode. We'll react to what Alex had to say, get back into the World Cup loss last night. Heath Evans coming up at 8:30, all that ahead. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at 1025 The Game for live shows and exclusive content. You can join our future award-winning YouTube chat as well.
By the way, thank you for this song. Season 2, episode 1 of Miami Vice. Crockett's walking through the city at night, and they're playing this song. The greatest TV show of all time is the first 2 seasons of Miami Vice.
Okay.
I can see it right now. I'm walking through the streets of Manhattan. The episode's called
You do love you some Miami Vice.
My Brother's Keeper. No, that was or The Prodigal Son. I mean, it's just those episodes are just I'm telling you, man, it's amazing. Any show that redefines pop culture is the show. So that's what it does. By the way, we've done a wellness check on Alex's house to see if Waymo has gone over there to run him over.
Yeah, so far so good.
Yeah,
we'll keep you updated.
He's still here, right? By the way, you said you got stuck behind a Waymo.
Yeah.
And that Fox 17 is doing Waymo Interstate training about how the Waymos are getting in the fast lane and not going fast.
Apparently, I was just reading a little bit about that. They only can go the speed limit. I think that's like a rule for them.
Speed limit.
I think it's built into the AI. I think they go the speed limit, whichever is on their computerized.
Right. You imagine
So
like a
them moving to
tractor
the left
trailer
lane could
on
be
the
in
right
trouble.
lane and a Waymo on the left lane. You just like people stuck for miles.
I mean, if you go 55 through Nashville, you're getting fought. You're getting into a fight. You're getting yelled at. You're going to everything else you could imagine that goes wrong. People are going to scream at
If
you.
you go 55,
But sometimes
it could be trouble.
Sometimes
yeah.
I wish they would go the speed limit. I got stuck behind a Waymo on Donaldson Pike. It was going like 15 miles an hour. I was like, what are we doing? Can you not go?
Did you honk at him?
I did honk at it. It did not help at all. I thought there may be some sort of sound recognition.
Imagine being the
Just kept
person
going.
in there. You're like, here I am.
There was no
Right.
one in this one. Yeah.
I'd still flip them off just
Yeah.
because somebody somewhere is going to see you flip them off. Like, oh my God, this guy's going
Some
crazy.
dude in a control
One of my
room.
favorite things is there's a guy who goes around the country. He wears a shirt as a stop sign on it.
Yeah.
And he'll stand on a corner, like on the middle of like, not even at the corner of an intersection. And Teslas will read that sign like it's a stop and they'll
Just
stop right in the middle of the intersection. Just stop. And he does that. And they said, why are you doing that? His reply was, why not? I was like, that's the best reply ever.
You know,
why not?
Sometimes we as humans create things. You know, just because you can doesn't mean you always
Right.
should.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, I think it's great.
Just
man.
because you can doesn't mean you should. And that's probably the case with the Waymos and maybe even a little bit of the AI stuff. You know, AI's got some good uses for it if you use it correctly, but we may take things a little too far sometimes.
When you tell me you've written something using AI, I immediately judge you.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm like, you're not very smart, are you?
Well, and it's like AI is really good at organizing things. Like a lot of times I'll need things organized, and it's really good if you prompt it that way where it can organize certain things for you. I think we're seeing way too much of like a friend of mine is a recruiter, and like they just kind of comb through resumes all the time. And they're like, people don't write resumes anymore. It's just 100% AI. And it's like, oh, okay,
man, yeah,
good to know.
Can you imagine being a teacher right now? There's a program, all right, you can put in. I forget the name of it. If you write a paper using AI, they can figure out you're using AI. And look, man, one of the best things that the good Lord's given us is the creative juices in our body. And when you're writing something, creating something, I mean, it feels great. AI is taking that away. Why do you want that being taken away from you? Be creative, be fun. Nothing. I mean, when I write, and you're a writer too, Robby, to write something well that you created out of your own head is an amazing feeling.
Yep.
So stop using AI to do it.
One text says, does the Waymo slow down for their stupid digital speed limit signs above the interstate? Where you're going up, it's like 55 right here.
Oh,
It
they
just
must,
stops.
yeah.
I don't know. It's a good question.
I'm not.
I haven't gotten stuck behind one on the interstate yet. I think that may be the breaking point for me.
Well, when we go downtown to do our show on Thursdays, we see Waymos
All over the place.
And the one that got stuck at the red light and was backing in blocked traffic, and the one that set through 11 cycles of red lights. Listen, you've got 2 seconds if I'm behind you to go on a red, and I'm honking. You're sitting there for 11 cycles of a red light. I'm fighting the phantom Waymo driver.
Yeah. Go better slash tires.
I want to pull him out, whoever it is, the ghost, and fighting that guy.
I mean, that's ridiculous. 11 cycles?
11 cycles.
It's insane.
Sit there. Can you imagine that? I'm not. No, you got 2
That shut down
seconds.
Nashville traffic for a day.
It shut down this one road downtown, and then it went down the wrong one-way street and trying to back up, that was just chaotic down there. And it's just like, no, we don't need this. If I'm an Uber driver, I'm fighting these guys tooth and nail, man. You're taking my business away from me.
Well, I just want to know, like, how many people look at it and say, yeah, I'll get in that. I'll do it. Because I wouldn't. Like, I'm not hopping in one of those things.
No.
Maybe that's too old school of me. I mean, I'm sure that they're relatively safe. Otherwise, they wouldn't be out there. But
yeah, we had a guy call in on our show that said that he was trying to get to the airport in Phoenix, and it looped the Phoenix airport for an hour, and he couldn't get out. And he missed his flight. Listen, man.
I had to get out and barrel roll.
I'm kicking a window out. I'm doing something. I am not being, man. And then others are like, hey, it's, we had no problem weighing on that. I said, that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I would assume most of the stories with it have to be good. Otherwise,
yeah,
it wouldn't be out there. But, man.
Where does the Waymo name come from?
I have no idea.
What was Waylon Jennings' nickname? Waymore? Was that his nickname? So we know it's not that. I don't know. You looking up where Waymo came from? Just curious.
By the way, Waylon Jennings' nickname was Hoss.
Hoss.
There you go.
There you go.
It's, quick search here. It says a new way forward in mobility.
Okay.
Waymo.
There you go.
New way forward in mobility.
There's no,
That sounds like putting me in a wheelchair. New way forward for this guy. No, I mean, how do you get Waymo out of that?
Well, you're mixing and matching words.
I get that,
Yeah,
but I was
like
not coming up with Waymo.
But that's the thing. Like, you got to be really creative to get it to Waymo at that point. I mean, you're taking way and mobility.
Right.
You're leaving out new forward,
Oh, my God.
Just picking and choosing what we're doing.
All right.
So back to the phone line. Welcome in Bill to the program. Bill, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Thanks, guys. I live in East Nashville. I go into work about 3:30 every morning, and there's generally 4 or 5 of them working the roads. They also have a van. It's a light blue colored Waymo van.
No.
Did you know that?
No.
Well, please be careful because they're even worse than the cars now.
A van? Waymo's got
Thank
a
you, Bill.
van now?
Yes, I've seen one. And if there's one, they're like roaches. If there's one, there's more, man. They're crawling. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you, Bill. Appreciate it.
Bill, thank you.
I haven't seen the van yet. That's a tough one. I mean, they're causing enough problems with just the compact car.
They are. And I went down a deep dive one day, like they think in the future plane's going to be like that. I'm like, no, I'm not getting a plane with that. I'm not doing that.
See, just because you can doesn't mean
That's
you should.
exactly right.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. Heath Evans will be with us coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley, Big Joe Dubin, Ian Safar here with you on this Tuesday morning. We'll be joined here in just a few minutes by Heath Evans, Super Bowl champion Heath Evans. We'll have celebrity birthdays to close out the show as well.
Auburn Tiger.
Interested to see how Golish does down there in year one.
It's been a crazy ride for them the last 5 to 7 years.
Last 5 years.
They've paid out tens of millions to coaches.
Yeah.
Harsin.
Oh, God, I forgot about Harsin.
Freeze.
Yeah.
I think they got a good coach there now.
I think Golish is pretty good.
Yes.
We'll see how that goes. So let's head to our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in Heath Evans to the program. Heath, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing good. It's not quite 105 degrees here yet in DFW. So, but it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, that's right. It's coming at some point out there. Well, thanks so much for taking time to be with us this morning. We were just talking about Auburn, and I know that's something deeply personal to you. How are we feeling about Alex Golish stepping in there in year one?
Man, no. College football this day and age, I turn it on Saturdays, and I'm like, how is there a protection that's drawn up that have two men coming for me? And how is there a run team that has, outside linebackers left unblocked and the weak side free safety left unblocked? I'm often confused where I can't tell, is this some new intrinsic coaching scheme that I'm unaware of, or guys just so unprepared that there's like mental errors everywhere? So, listen, I love Auburn. The Auburn people are some of the finest people in the world. I pray for their sake. Coach Golish can get this thing turned around. So I see a lot of promising things. I see a lot of mental toughness kind of being the focus of his speeches to the team, and kind of being the men that they say they are. He's big on owning who you are and what you do. And if you're going to talk a big game, you better back it up. So I hope we get to see some of that on the field this year.
Yeah, absolutely. You were talking about your career a little earlier in the show, and just kind of the different people that you got to be around and all these different things, and obviously winning the Super Bowl with the Saints. And I'm curious, from your playing days, being around Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, that dynamic of those guys working together, what was that like to be, a part of that process, a part of those teams as they were coming up and kind of going through the heyday there?
I always tell people my 4 years in New England were the most stressful, peaceful 4 years. And they're like, how does stressful and peaceful go together? Well, the level of accountability day to day, week to week, year to year is relentless. The workflow that starts literally Sunday night after a win or a loss, preparing for the next Sunday, the level of accountability that you are required to kind of measure up to about what you know about the other team, what you know about their coaching staff, what you know about the group of referees that are going to be calling this game. It was intense. It was often overwhelming, but you knew what was expected of you, and you were given all the resources to prepare yourself for what was expected. So we were coached extremely hard, but we were given these resources to be the smartest, most brilliant team on the field week in and week out. So when you got to Sunday, if you did the work, it was the most peaceful environment in the world. And then you just got so spoiled with winning because we had kind of won the war before we even fought it. We had done the battle work Monday through Saturday, so we were so over-prepared and confident in the game plan that was built and our preparation to kind of put that into practice on Sunday, that Sundays became peaceful. But the environment of expectation and the environment of what a man was required to sacrifice to be a part of those teams, it was good. It was good and right, and it served a great purpose. But that atmosphere, that type of culture, it's not for everybody because most people don't want to work that hard, and most people don't want to be held to that standard of excellence.
Now we're talking to Heath. To success at that level when you look at a guy like Breeze and Brady?
Yeah. Mental brilliance. Listen, Breezy was a far superior total athlete than Tom. But both of those guys are what I call mental monsters. They outstudied, outprepared, outworked every little detail, the cliche sayings, no rock left unturned, all those things. They just did it, but they just didn't work hard. God gave them brains to calculate an immense amount of information in a, call it 12-second period of time, from the time you get this play called in from Sean or Josh McDaniels or whoever's calling it from the sideline to these stud quarterbacks. You call it to the boys, you kind of give the boys the cues in the huddle, and then you're walking to the line of scrimmage and you're looking at defensive personnel. You're looking at defensive spacing. You're looking and thinking about down and distance. You got to be peeking the shot clock in the back of the end zone to know how much time you have left. All these things, and then they never grew weary doing it. So many quarterbacks can do it for the first quarter, or maybe the first half, or maybe they, out of each drive, that they're going to get 6 out of 10 plays right. These guys they never hit the mental fatigue marker. They just, week in and week out, play in and play out, fourth quarter of a Super Bowl or fourth quarter of, a practice scenario in Foxborough or New Orleans, they just didn't fatigue mentally. And so their mental brilliance and then their ability to just be faithful and consistent with all these small things that set them apart, they were uncanny. And besides Peyton Manning, they're the three that have only done it to that level consistently in a manner of constant precision. And it was a blessing to be around.
Oh, I'm sure. Heath Evans is with us. An Instagram page, Heath Evans 44. Your website is builtready.com. Tell me about this journey you're on now, Heath, about men and mental health and discovering God's blessing in life. You're very passionate about it. I love your page. I love the mission you're on now to try to save men. Heath, why is this so important to you?
We've been sold a bunch of lies. I talk about the culture in New England. There was this hard work. There was this put the team first. There was this selfless mentality. This was kind of die to self, what's best for the team. Well, all those things are biblical principles. Any man that's focused on self is selfish. And so, yes, we have to take care of ourselves, but often taking care of ourselves has to be based on what our creators or our creator God says about taking care of yourself. And the more I get my mind off myself, the more I put my mind on first Christ and then my wife and then my children and then the men that God's given me to steward and coach. It's amazing. Even when life is hard circumstantially, my heart and my soul is at peace. And that's the story of Scripture, that this world, I was messaging one of my best friends this morning who is not a Christian man, but has everything this world has to offer. He has money, he has fame, he has good looks, he has one of the best bodies in the world, beautiful wife, kids, you name it.
Right.
And yet he is constantly wrestling with fear, anxiety, depression. He's got millions of dollars stuffed under his mattress, right? He's got no real worries in life except for his eternal soul. And yet he has all these things the world has said that he needs to be happy. He has them all, and yet he's still miserable. And so I was texting him this morning about purpose. And so I want to use my past pain, my past experience, my past failures, my past sin, current sins, future sins to draw men to Christ, to give them really the hope that will satisfy their soul. And that's through hard work. But we got to look unto our Creator to see what's the hard work that we need to be doing.
I love it. BuiltReady.com is the website. And I see you've seen the good Lord move through guys. I mean, big, tough men who would never break down. I know you've seen this, and that's why we need more of this in the world, to empower our guys, to keep them here, to let them know how powerful and wonderful they are. That's why I love what you're doing with this message.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I tell them all that transparency is the key to transformation. If we want to transform as men, if we want to be godly, truly ferocious, real men, we got to get real transparent with our fears and our insecurities and our sins and our failures. And first, we got to take them to the only man who can do something about it, which is the God-man Christ. But then, what does Christ require of us? He requires of us humility to go to other brothers to really truly be this iron sharpening iron. And so if men can't be honest, if leaders can't be transparent, they're not real leaders.
I'm with you 100%. Also, can we get you to bring back the fullback position in the NFL?
Come on.
Listen, I always say when we get down to like those final 8 teams in the playoffs, at least 4 of them are going to have fullbacks, so it's the proof is in the pudding. I'm kind of one of those guys where, listen, whether it's a fullback or whatever, this game is never going to change, right? Are you mentally and physically and emotionally tough? If your team, whether it's Auburn or Alabama or the Saints or New England, if you have those attributes, you're going to win a lot of games. And so the fullback has kind of always been that guy that was going to kind of reconcile those 3 attributes of toughness in one, smart and tough, kind of the big toe of the team that doesn't get a lot of praise,
right?
And glue it together on 4th and 1 when you need to win a Super Bowl.
I love it.
We'll start.
Yeah. One more question before you go. We spent a lot of time with Vrabel here in Nashville. He's coach of the Titans. What was it like going against him in practice for the 4 years you were up there?
I love me some Braves, but that's big. It was that culture of like, I am going to rip your throat out, whether it be in practice or in a game. Brewski and Rodney Harrison, and then, man, like the list just went on and on and on. I mean, Richard Seymour, like it was just constant noise. Those guys were smart and they were tough, and of course they knew all our plays because they practice us every day. So they were constantly pissing Brady off, calling out the plays, calling out the snap counts. Brady's on purpose missing passes, pegging them with footballs. Like it was a culture of excellence. But boy, did we have a lot of fun. And I'm thankful that we got Braves in New England now. He is as tough gets. And that is, we need these young men, these NIL spoiled babies, to get to the league and get around men that can coach them out of their selfishness and coach them out of their me-first mentality and get this game of football back to a team first, where even the fans can enjoy the game better because it's not such a selfish environment. It's 53 alpha dogs laying it on the line for each other, for their team to win games and their fan bases as well.
Well, Heath, appreciate so much you taking time to be with us today. Again, the website, builtready.com. And thanks so much for your perspective, and we'll talk to you soon, man.
Appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. Heath Evans, our guest here on the program.
The fullback, right?
Bring fullback back.
Bring it back. He makes a good point.
I mean, we talked about it earlier. Like, basically, Jeffrey Simmons has been the fullback for the Titans.
Right. I mean, you get into January.
4th and 1, it's like, well, hey, Jeffrey Simmons in the backfield out there.
Have you seen him run on the field to play fullback? I mean, he sprints on that field like I would too. This. Right? I'm not tackling
He
Jeffrey
thinks he's
Simmons.
getting the ball. Yeah, that's good stuff. We'll wrap up the show. Celebrity birthdays coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Final segment of the day, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Big Joe Dubin with us here on the program. Rexrode on vacation this week. We assume he'll be back next week. I guess we'll see.
Who knows, man? He might get abducted. He's out in the desert. You'll never hear from him again.
They got Waymos out there?
I bet
They do. Yeah, they do have Waymos out there.
They do. Better watch out there. Get gas pumps. Never know what happens when Rexrode's around a gas pump.
Right.
A lot of things you got to watch out. Red PT Cruisers out there.
Poor guy.
I'm just trying to imagine you in the same situation.
I lock my door everywhere I go.
Yeah.
So I'd have locked the door, but I'm very aware of my surroundings. I'm telling me, if I saw you break in my car, I will beat the snot out of you. And somebody said, what if they got to, well, you better shoot me because I'm going, there's nothing lower than a thief at all.
I agree.
So I felt bad for Rexrode on that, but man, nope. It's just your wallet. Give your wallet over. That's my wallet, man.
Yeah.
I ain't giving that thing over. Too bad.
All right, it is time for celebrity birthdays. Let's get it rolling. Little celebrity birthdays action this week here on the program. Joe, I turn things over to you.
Here we go. We're waiting on it. There we go.
Sorry about that.
You're the best, Ian. All right, celebrity birthdays. It's a staple of the Chasing Big Joe show. Hated by one person, but we love it. Just got to get the person's actual birthday within 2 years. All right, Robby, you go first.
All right.
He's known as Downtown Freddie Brown. He led Seattle to the NBA championship a long time ago. How old is Fred Brown?
I will go 77.
70.
78. Robby's on the board, 1-0. Ian, how old is Ralph Sampson?
Samsonite. Ralph Sampson. I'll go 75.
81.
66.
Woo! Sorry, Ralph.
Robby, this guy had the yips when he played baseball. Chuck Knobloch.
Yep. I'll go 62.
Man, Knobloch not being able to throw from second is one of those things. Wasn't that crazy?
Right? Awful. Then Steve Sachs had it, and then Knobloch had it. It was awful.
Couldn't even, yeah. What'd you say, Robby? I'm sorry.
62.
62. 59.
57. Ian's on the board with 1. Ian, how old is former Colorado Avalanche player Joe Sakic?
60.
I'll go 58.
57. Robby's up 2-1. Robby, how old is Lisa Leslie? Fantastic basketball player. Lisa Leslie.
48.
50.
54. All right, Ian, how old is the best drummer of all time, Ringo Starr?
83.
81.
86. So close. Robby, how old is Jim Schwartz's teammate at Georgetown, comedian Jim Gaffigan?
I'll go 59.
64.
He is 60. Robby's up 3-1. Ian, how old is Olympic skater Michelle Kwan?
50.
44.
46. Robby's up 4-1. Now, Robby, you better get this one. How old is David Hodu? He is a construction worker in the Village People. You better get this one, Robby. David Hodo.
63.
74.
79.
Really?
Right?
Okay.
Robby, I thought you knew your Village People. I guess
sorry.
not. Ian, how old is actress Georgia Fox? She was on CSI Vegas, and she was on The West Wing.
60.
66.
58. It's 4-2. Robby, how old is rapper Cassidy? One of your favorites.
Never heard of him.
I'll go.
How do you know it's a him? We
Fair
don't.
point.
We don't.
37.
30.
44. And we'll leave you with this. It's 4-2. Robby's on top. Our last birthday. How old is Doc Severinsen from Johnny Carson and The Tonight Show? Doc Severinsen still alive. And I'm told he lives in Knoxville.
Oh, okay.
According to this.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yes, sir. You're down 4-2.
90.
I'll go 88.
He's 99.
Dang.
Sorry. And you tried, though. I mean, you had it at the buzzer. Robby wins 4-2. Well done, Robby.
Hey. Yeah, I'm just thinking of what you said yesterday. What Chase get one time? 17?
17.
Well, I got 4.
You got 4. It's not easy. You think you know, but you don't know.
All right.
What I love about that, people are like, oh, it's a dumb game. Then you play it once, you're like, oh, I like it. The next time you're like, oh, I don't like it. And then you go on and on. It's like you think you know these people. The one birthday that blows me away is William Shatner.
Yeah.
I think he's 96.
Is he really?
Yeah. Right? Exactly.
Grief.
You're like, how old are these people? I mean, you grew up with all of them. And
I mean, I was stunned when you told me Stallone's 80.
80 years old yesterday.
Yeah.
80.
I saw Mel Brooks turn 99 this past week, I think.
It might be 100.
Maybe it was 100.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's
99
right.
or 100. Yeah, I saw it on social somewhere.
Which, by the way, I still have my question. I need it. It involves Sylvester Stallone.
We'll have to do it tomorrow.
And I think it's a great question.
We'll lead the show with it tomorrow.
Okay. We'll do it tomorrow.
I'll go ahead and write it down.
We'll get Koharski to weigh in on it. And old Grumplestiltskin will last about a second with it and move on about something else. So,
he's got lots of complaining to do tomorrow.
He's got a lot of complaining to do tomorrow. And the World Cup beat it out of him last night.
real quick, how was he about the limited access at training camp?
I think he's a big fan of it.
He's the first guy I thought of.
He's a big fan of it.
When I saw the new media protocol out there, I'm like, oh, I wonder how Paul's going to like this. The first guy I thought about.
We can get into that tomorrow, too. I'm sure he'll have things
he
to
was
say.
complaining about a text from a PR person from a field that was across the way.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's already started. And we haven't even
love
made
it,
to
man.
It's camp yet.
I love that.
It's got the special. It's got the potential. Get a little spicy out there this year.
Oh, I bet.
It's always got the potential when he's walking around to get a little spicy.
Oh, yeah. I'll give it to him, though. Everybody looks to him for the tough questions.
Yep, they do. And he's not afraid to ask it.
Nope.
Not afraid to ask it. But we got a lot going on the show tomorrow. Paul Koharski will be with us in the second half of the program tomorrow. We will get into all things Tennessee Titans with him. I'm sure there will be some lamenting.
And my question of the day
tomorrow. And your question of the day as well. I'm sure there will be some lamenting of the World Cup loss. We talked about it to begin the show. Tough way for U.S. to go out last night, 4-1 to Belgium. Ian, I was depressed after the game.
I have to say, I was really disappointed with Pulisic, Christian Pulisic.
Yeah, not much in the World Cup.
I mean, absolute zero in the World Cup. Injured.
Right.
He's been supposedly the face of the men's national team for 10 years or something now.
Did not
has
come
done diddly squat.
And then the late Carly Lloyd, was that who that lady was?
Mm-hmm.
She just
ripped him.
Yes. I was like, I love this. Because how often you hear that about a kind of a fellow person in the same sport? She tore him apart. I'm like, I like you.
And he deserved it too.
He
We
did.
go out like that, I guess. If you're hurt, I guess you're hurt. But come on,
got to show a little bit more than he showed. It's a disappointing end to things for USA in the World Cup. That's going to do it for us today here on the program. Hope everybody has a wonderful rest of the day. Next man up with Jake Lyman coming up next. You're listening to 102.5 The Game.